Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Dax Shepard. I'm joined by Lily Padman.
Hi.
Hi. Very fun name to say today. Camila Mendes. It sounds good, doesn't it, Camila Mendes? It sounds smooth.
She's great.
She's great, but the name is also really nice. Camila Mendes is an actor and producer. She, of course, was in 26 seasons of Riverdale.
So many.
Do Revenge, Dangerous Lies, Palm Springs, The Perfect Date. But she has a new movie out. If you've been on Prime recently, as we have, you certainly have seen it. Upgraded, a new rom-com with Camila. We had a party with Camila.
This was a really fun
It was
episode.
a very sweet one. It reminded me of her best friend a little bit when she was
Lily
here.
Reinhardt.
Yes. We've had a couple of younger actors on where I'm nervous it's not going to go well. Oh, also, ding, 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 Easter egg. Duck, duck, goose. If you've heard me say Hollywood, 9 o'clock, this is the birth of that.
This is.
In fact, this episode hadn't come out, but I commented on one of her posts and wrote Hollywood in all caps, 9 o'clock.
God.
And I'm like, there are so many people that are genuinely embarrassed for me.
And so confused.
Yes.
Also, if you heard us say puce, that's this episode as well. We started a lot in this episode.
This is a fertile episode.
It was really, really fun.
And after you watch Upgraded and you fall in love with it, please also check her out in Musica on April 4th. Also on Prime Video.
Yeah.
She'll keep you busy on Prime Video.
Oh, yeah.
We love this. Thanks for coming, Camila.
Thanks for coming.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
Hello.
Welcome.
It's so nice to meet you.
I'm so sorry. Traffic was really
God,
rough.
It's okay. I'm chronically late.
You were early. You were very early.
You were early? Fuck. So you've really been waiting.
Are you a late person?
Well, Monica's probably better judge of that.
No, you're not.
Not like
not.
habitually.
Like fashionably.
Not habitually. Like probably 1 in 5.
You're not. I mean, also, this doesn't count. This is so weird because it's like the house. And,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
in
not
normal
to-
life,
I've
no.
never been like late to a lunch to meet an executive or
Oh,
anything.
okay. Good for you.
It's solely Rob's fault, though.
Oh, okay,
This
yeah.
particular situation.
Is all Rob's fault.
Oh,
No,
well, it's
you should have been. You should have
Went to Squirrel?
anticipated the worst.
We had
I'm a
Squirrel.
squirrel. I'm a Silver Lake girly.
Oh, I was gonna say, what side of town are you?
Silver
on?
Lake.
Yeah, that
But I'm
tracks.
I'm moving to Studio City soon.
to get a yard,
Well, I'm moving with my boyfriend, so
and he already lives there.
and he has a yard. But I actually have a yard too. Not that I ever go out there.
Will you be keeping your home and renting it out? I highly
I will be
recommend
keeping my
this.
home and moving my mom into the home.
Oh, that's
Nice.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna charge her for rent?
Everyone's moving to Studio City.
Are you? Well,
I mean, I'm not.
okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
But-
Monica's building a house right there.
Yeah,
I know. I heard.
Okay, you already know.
Yeah,
Shit.
for 5 years
your
now.
sweatshirt.
Boys get sad too.
Yeah.
I told you a story about we traveled on Christmas Day and I got into a real dust up with 3 construction workers and I was wearing this.
This past Christmas?
They wouldn't let me go down this road. I had passed the terminal, so I was like kind of panicked we were going to miss the flight and I really wanted to go down this road. Camila, you may enjoy this. I'm sure you've had some experience with toxic males like myself. So once I passed the terminal and I'm already very stressed going to the airport and they got the whole family and we're traveling with the kids, it's just stressful. And then so I passed it and I'm like, fuck. By the way, I didn't pass it. They had shut down parking area 7, which is where I was supposed to park. Oh. So now I'm looping around. It's Christmas Day. It's a fucking mess. So now I'm panicked. I go to turn down the street, which I just watched someone turn down. And immediately 3 construction workers step in front of the car and it quickly escalates. It's Christmas Day. I'm wearing this sweatshirt that says boys get sad too. And, it gets heated as it can get with me.
This is like a movie that you're wearing that
It is. It's in
sweatshirt.
fact, it's too silly for a
It
movie.
is.
You'd be like, this is a cheap joke. So yeah, it gets heated. I'm yelling, they're yelling, and then I drive away. They win. I surrender. I'm a piece of shit, but then also I'm a bit self-aware. I'm like, these guys are gonna be telling this story like this guy had a pink sweater on that said "Boys get sad too," yet he was so aggressive. This guy either was the wrong sweatshirt for him, or
Yeah. You need a red one that says "Boys get mad too."
Exactly.
it says "Boys like to fight each other."
And duh.
Yeah, it was not the right outfit for that.
I love it.
I'm going to guess minimally maybe you listened to Lily's episode. Did you listen to
Of course.
Reinhardt?
No, I was telling Monica, I'm die-hard fan.
Oh
Like,
my God, it's so
I was telling her
flattering.
that when my publicist was walking me through all the press that we're doing to promote my movie, she's like, yeah, and then Dax Shepard. And I was like, what? I freaked out. She's like, is that the thing you get the most excited about? I'm
Oh
like,
my
yes.
God. I'm delighted.
I love this. I'm so happy to be here.
We're so
And
happy to have
it's the first podcast I ever started listening to.
Oh,
Like,
it
this got
is?
me into podcasts.
How long ago? This is self-indulgent, but I hope to make something out of it.
I
When
wasn't
Lily
that
was on?
early. No, I was before Lily. When Lily told me she was going on, I was like furious. I'm like, what?
Okay.
I'm like, you get to do it first? I think I started during COVID because we were in Vancouver filming for 10 months at a time, and I had an hour commute to work every day and back. I was like seeking something more than just music on the way to work, and this was my introduction.
Well, it's enormously flattering. And then also a curiosity stems from it. And this is where it gets a little self-indulgent. But Lily also liked it. Nina really likes it. I'm just curious why the younger
The teen
female
stars.
actors seem to like it. And are we underserving them, I guess, is
Yeah.
the ultimate question.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay, yeah. I just feel like younger people are more evolved. Like even we had Jenna Ortega, and she's just
Yeah.
already so evolved
Absolutely.
that I think
Or-
this is a draw.
Working in the industry when you're young makes you grow up really fast.
And there's a new crop. Like your generation is speaking about things. The musicians are acknowledging their addicts in their songs.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
There's an openness.
Sam Mendes, you share a last name with. He was on.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy feels like
Sean.
Sam Mendes. He's a great director, but Shawn Mendes is the boy I'm speaking of. A great musician, Canadian. But yeah, he felt like he was 30 years into therapy
Yeah.
at 24. or whatever.
Exactly.
This kind of your generation having some tools and some awareness and some willingness to, I guess, be vulnerable.
I think it's also a lot of people, like actors in the industry, have this thirst to dig deeper and get to know themselves and understand why they do the things they do. But I also feel like I know tons of people who aren't creative people who don't have as much interest in going to therapy.
Yes.
I just think maybe we see those people online a lot more. The ones that are very vocal and open.
Yeah. I think, too, though, you're right in that. I feel like artists over-index. I think that's why they're able to access emotions. We just interviewed Juno Temple. Did you watch Fargo season 5 yet?
I didn't. We were just talking about it.
You guys covered everything. I hope you were recording.
We already recorded the episode.
Yeah, we're done. You have to watch it. It's so good.
I know.
It's a tour de force, insane
a
kind
tour de
of.
force.
A tour de
Formals.
force. Yeah, a force majeure. She can access some stuff pretty quick, and you don't have that when you want to on a set, and then the rest of your life you're like, no, I'm as stable as they come.
I also think we were acting every day for 10 months. We were in the habit of constantly emoting and digging deeper than the average person. And also Riverdale is a show that was high drama all the time. Every scene there's something, like we're always making this face and it's like
Some brooding.
we're
yeah,
always
yeah.
brooding. So I think when you're living that every day, you're wearing your heart on your sleeve
Yeah.
constantly.
You're kind of raw and exposed. Even reading about the fact that you guys did 7 seasons and you were doing 22 a year, you really don't even read that anymore.
No.
I think maybe
No.
one season of Parenthood we did 20 or something.
We're the last of its kind.
Yeah, I
Like I
don't-
think it ends with Riverdale, that network teen show.
Right. And a 1 hour show,
Yeah.
which means the hours are insane. What's an average day on that show?
The earlier seasons were definitely longer, 16-hour days. Then it was like 13-hour days.
They
that was
kind
the
of
standard.
perfected the machine a little bit.
Yeah, they kind of knew they couldn't get away with 22 episodes of 16-hour days.
Yeah. And how many days were the episodes? 7 or 8?
9 business days, and we'd have 2 tandem days.
Tell me about tandem days.
Tandem days is when there's 2 units
Yeah.
going
Oh,
on at the
right.
same time.
Sure. Splinter
So
unit.
as you're finishing one episode, you're also starting the next episode.
You're so young, but you're kind of like a grandma in this industry because you know what it's like to shoot 22 episodes a year
Yes.
and
I
those
know.
hours.
It's like a boot camp. It's training. I feel like I can do anything now.
I'm glad you feel that way because
Yeah.
similarly, my very first movie, we were in New Zealand and we were shooting very long days and we were in water that was like 39 degrees and we were freezing all day long and it was incredibly hard. I loved it. Best experience of my life. But everything after that has been easier. And that's a very nice way to go. The worst version would be like your first job's Modern Family. You're used to shooting 6 hours a day
Oh my God, yeah, that's the dream.
and then you join Riverdale.
I know. And they got paid so much money.
Oh, they made
Yeah,
so
they
much money.
sure did.
It's funny you say that because I just did Jesse Tyler Ferguson's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard not to think about how much money. I'm like, We're chatting. I'm fully connected. And then once in a while, I'm like, yeah, 3 points of that
You'll just
show.
doze off and think about
Of what a few points of
bank
that
account.
show is worth. Yeah. Are you ever distracted by that? Follow-up question.
Yeah.
These other young actors I know of your ilk, you're unique and wonderful and special, so I'm not diminishing that.
No, I don't.
But a lot of these younger actors I'm friends with, they seem to know some billionaires. Do you know any billionaires?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
Wait,
Have you been on a
really?
boat?
Oh, yeah.
This feels standard.
What?
Yeah. 100%.
Wait, what?
Too many.
Well, because all these people are young tech billionaires, right? And they want to hang out with people.
That's the thing with billionaires. They just want to be cool.
Yeah.
They want to have friends and they want to be liked.
They want to be movie stars.
Yeah.
I know. That's the
Yeah.
irony of all of this life. Everyone just wants to be somebody else.
Yeah.
But who do you know that's a
We'll cut it out. By the way, we really cut everything out. We're not scandalous at all. So
I don't know,
You
I
can
just-
say anything you want and we'll cut it out.
Skip.
Okay.
We'll ask you after.
Okay, yeah.
But the reason I'm asking if you know them is, do you find yourself distracted by it as well? Because even when we're interviewing like Brian Chesky, who started Airbnb, and I happen to know he has like 38 billion.
I know him.
Of course. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
dialed in. So every now and then when he's talking, it crosses my mind like, if he gave me $1 billion, he wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
that's crazy.
Right.
That
Or
someone
Bill-
could just give $1 billion and not even think about it?
And no,
It's
because they'd be
crazy.
like, did I have 37 or 39? Whatever. I have a ton of billions.
Yeah, like at that point, you can't even comprehend the difference.
It's not even real anymore.
No.
Like, money is not real. It's
No.
just a concept.
You're just mildly tracking it.
Yeah.
Or we know Bill Gates.
We
He
know
could
him.
You know
certainly-
Bill Gates?
Yes, we've interviewed him twice. He's flown to do a live show.
He did this podcast?
Yeah, twice.
I need to listen to that episode.
He flew to Seattle to join us on a live show on a stage in front of 3,000 people.
Obsessed.
What a party animal.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Who do you get nervous interviewing?
Great question. Letterman.
Oh my God, yeah.
Hyper idols of mine, but more often it is Sapolsky, this genius professor who's written my favorite book.
Like hyper intellectual
Yes.
people that you're like, I want to keep up with you and be on your level.
I don't want to be the dumb dyslexic kid. I really want them to think I'm smart, which is a terrible motivation to have, but I have it. And maybe their topic is really dense too, so I've got to research it and be able to have an understanding
You got to
of
do
what-
your homework.
Exactly. So those tend to be the ones. Would you agree? Who do you get nervous around? Matt Damon?
Obviously, your childhood loves of your life. Of
course.
Your soulmates, your twin flames.
My twin flame.
Flame.
Yeah. I've been nervous a few times. He's probably the most. I think I was nervous for Letterman because I was nervous for Dax.
Yeah.
Nervous by proxy.
It meant so much to him. This was such a big deal that I felt like, oh my gosh, I just hope this goes the way he wants it to
Oh,
go.
that's sweet.
GP made her nervous, I do
Oh,
recall.
yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh my God.
Gwyneth P.
The Goop entrepreneur. I'm obsessed with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Did she make you nervous?
Have you
Do
seen
you
her
feel
in
like you've
real
got a
life?
tinkle when you think about interacting
know.
with her? Okay.
Maybe not.
Can you think of someone who does make you? Or
Oh yeah, I'm sure I can. I'm just terrible when people put me on the spot with things. So then 20 minutes from now, we'll be talking about something and I'll be like, oh, that's someone that would make me nervous.
Perfect. And that is obviously, as you would know, the vibe of the show. So you're
Yes.
free to bring that up at any time. Did you have a childhood idol?
Did you have a childhood?
Have you ever been a child?
Kind of a fair question.
Yeah, honestly.
Did you have someone that you were like, that's the actor I want to be? Who was it and have you met them?
Yes, it was Rachel Bilson from the OC because I loved that show as a teenager. I've met her multiple times and I always tell her, and she's like, no, I remember.
I know you love
But she's so sweet. She was
She
so sweet. She gave me her
delivers.
number. She's like, call me whenever. Like, if you want to
sweet.
chat. I was like, yeah.
Do you know Wobby Wob produces her podcast?
You do?
And he's often in the videos with her.
Okay,
and
I
he's a
was-
better actor than all of us.
I was invited to go on the podcast, but I couldn't go because I was filming. But I'm like, totally go now.
Just putting it out there.
Spun it out
Love
there.
it.
Camilla's only second podcast ever.
I've only done one before this.
I listened to the other one.
Okay, homework.
You were great.
She talks about mental health in a very casual, relatable way.
Yes.
Feels like you're just talking to like another girl. There's something really nice about that.
And she's a teacher of some type? Because she was saying, oh no, I'm getting confused. She was saying the
Yeah.
students in her class were products of divorce at a rate of 80%. But I, for a second, thought she meant her own students. But now I'm remembering she just meant her classmates.
Maybe you're confusing it with me saying that I took a children of divorce class in college.
That was when when you were talking about it, and then
Got
she
it.
said that in her high school,
Oh, yeah,
80%
80%.
of the people she was in high school with, which felt high.
It's a very good memory, Dax.
Oh,
I'm
thank
impressed.
you. It's pretty fresh. Don't get too excited.
That's why he was late. He's like, divorce. Got it.
Can we go back to Charlottesville? Let's start in Charlottesville.
Let's start in Charlottesville.
Virginia.
Well, I don't have much of a memory because I was like 1 when I moved out of Charlottesville.
But then you moved back.
I did also for like a year.
You moved 16 times?
Yeah.
So we share this in common. Yours were more dramatic. Charlottesville, Atlanta, Charlottesville, Brazil, Orlando, South Florida.
Exactly.
Okay, so when do your memories start of getting uprooted and how did you deal with it?
I don't actually remember having a conversation about moving until I was like a preteen. When we were leaving my neighborhood in 5th grade, I was devastated. But at that point, we were already in South Florida. So the move wasn't that drastic, but I was leaving the school. I
You
was
had
moving an
finally had
hour away,
friends.
but that was the hardest part, was just saying goodbye to my friends.
Okay, here's a fun question. It's a Machine Gun Kelly one. What place do you say is home? Because I have a place I say that's home, but I was only there for 3 years.
Miami and Fort Lauderdale, I'd say. Just South Florida, really, because it's all kind of one big city. When I moved to South Florida, in 5th grade, I was actually in Coral Springs, which is where Marjorie Stoneman Douglas is, the school with the shooter and everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's
so
the
that,
vibe down there?
My sister went to that school, and
my
she was like,
God.
she wasn't very happy there. She was older. I never went there. And then in 6th grade, I started at one school, and I stayed there through senior year.
Oh, you did
So
a
I stayed at
full-
the same school for that duration, which was like 6 years, even though I moved a lot while I was there. Like I stayed in one apartment, then I moved in with my dad, and my mom went to Brazil, and then she came back, and then I moved back in with her. There was a lot of long car rides, long bus rides,
How did you entertain yourself? It was the radio?
music.
Did you also love South Florida because obviously there's a huge Latino
Yeah,
vibe there? You're finally
exactly.
like going to bump into some Brazilians probably.
It took me so long to embrace my Brazilian culture when I was younger. I didn't wear it proudly for a long time.
it.
Yeah.
Ding, ding,
Oh,
ding.
yeah. I'm
She's
like
still-
still working on it.
Yeah, I was in the South for a lot of my childhood. And I know South Florida's still the South, but it's not. It's like Latin America. But in Georgia and Virginia, we had some family friends that were Brazilian, so I did have a little bit of that presence. But for the most part, all my friends were white Southern girls. And
Yeah.
so I didn't ever really have anyone to share my cultural identity.
I would even argue you're incentivized to not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also because guys didn't have a crush on me. I was like the unibrow, hairy girl with glasses. Like, guys did not like me.
I know.
I remember there was a girl, Sarah Korn. Her last name was Korn. And she had the blondest of blonde
So white.
hair with blue eyes. And I was like,
If I were only Sarah Corn.
exactly.
Shout out Sarah Corn. I'd love to
Sure, Korn.
share your corn with me. Where in Atlanta were you?
Alpharetta.
I'm from Duluth.
Oh, cool.
Literally,
No, don't know what that
literally
is.
neighbors.
I don't know what
Maybe
that is,
town.
though.
It's the same, essentially. Was Johns Creek a thing yet?
Is that the school? No.
Johns Creek is an area, but it's a piece of Alpharetta.
Oh, okay.
But then
'Cause
it
I remember my
became its own
school
city.
was called something Creek. It's like Big Creek, Old Creek Elementary, something like that.
Chattahoochee Creek.
A lot of
I went
creeks.
to Chattahoochee Elementary. Very, very close.
Yeah, so you were
same
Indian and
thing.
you were Brazilian. And both of your parents emigrated here.
Exactly. Both of them together.
At what age were they?
I actually don't know. Because my dad went to college in Brasilia, but then went to University of Tokyo for grad school.
In what
And then
was
my
his
mom went with him.
degree in?
Mechanical engineering.
Oh, I'm so horny for that. Guess what? Monica's father.
Really?
Structural engineer.
I think it's a big immigrant thing.
It is.
They love engineering over there. I have so many engineers in the family.
Yes, and I had 2 engineer stepdads, and at the risk of offending them, there's a vibe. I think if you're going to be already from a different culture,
Yeah.
that's the dream environment. Because everyone's talking numbers, they're getting down to brass tacks. It's not sales, it's not public relations, it's not marketing. It's like you have a skill set that largely exists in math. And so the cultural differences are probably very much mitigated by the task at hand.
Yeah.
Well, also just practically, I know for Indians, it was because that's how you could get a job here, engineering or computer science.
yeah.
If you wanted a work visa, that's the move.
Yeah, you had to.
Yeah, my dad started in GE and then worked his way up really fast in GE.
Very great company.
Yeah, and that's why we were in Charlottesville, Virginia, because that's where GE was at the time.
My father-in-law was just making a very hard sales pitch for me to check out the GE Monogram series of ranges and ovens. He swears they're the best in the world, and this was a 2-hour sales pitch.
Wow.
I've never heard someone that loved a product more than he loves his Monogram series GE.
You should try it.
Well, we're pot committed. We got this ridiculously expensive
You got a
French thing that I
French
hate. I
one.
What
fucking
French
hate.
thing? oven?
We're not going to
Dutch
disparage
oven?
it.
Okay.
We're not going to
Okay.
disparage it.
we'll
It is
tell her, though.
impossible to use.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys got it because I would have bought it for my house because it's gorgeous.
What's the appeal?
It's
It's
beautiful.
gorgeous.
It's just beautiful.
I'll give it that. It's the centerpiece of the house.
Right.
And it's astronomically expensive. And to light the burner, you have to hold it for 25, 30 seconds.
I'm too scared to use it.
Yeah, it's dangerous. So the monogram by G, apparently very friendly.
User friendly.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you come from
welcome.
this background. Did you ever go to work with Dad at GE?
No, I didn't.
Did he end up being like a manager of things?
I'm totally going to butcher his story, but I know that he quickly got promoted to higher positions and then eventually started working for a completely different company that had nothing to do with engineering, and he just became like a CEO. He like transferred over into corporate world in business.
Is he a babe? Who of your parents is a babe? Because you're so objectively
they're
attractive.
both objectively attractive.
They
I'd
are.
Say. Yeah.
I want to see the mom.
I'm sure you do that.
I do.
Oh my
I
gosh, she
happen
would
to
be
think
so
Brazilian
flirty
gals
with
are.
you.
Oh,
really?
She's single.
Let's get her on the FaceTime.
And she's like a really bubbly
We're
personality.
probably the same age.
No.
No.
How old is she?
She's 60 almost.
Yeah.
No.
She's going to kill me for saying that. She's 59.
Okay, great.
great.
Well, that's nothing. That's a 10-year gap.
10-year
I'm
gap.
49. I'm
Yeah.
49. Let's follow up on this.
Yeah.
And what did she do? And did they know each other in Brazil or did they meet here?
They met when they were 14 in Brazil. So they were high school sweethearts who stayed together. She went to Japan with him when he graduated school, and she was a housewife for most of her life. And then recently, my parents divorced a long time ago.
You were 8?
Homework, Dax.
It's been done. The homework has been done.
Yeah, I was 8 years old, and it wasn't until college that my mom started training to be a flight attendant. So now she's a flight attendant.
Awesome.
Oh my God. This would be the dream if I bump into her up at 30,000 feet.
Maybe if you travel American,
She
she'll be
must
there.
tell people that you're her daughter.
Oh yeah, no,
Yes.
she does. Like if anyone's watching my show, she'll be like, "That's my daughter."
Good for her.
How fun for her.
I know.
No, and she's like a celebrity at American Airlines. Like people know, they know that she's my mom.
Yeah.
And she loves it.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I would bump into. So my mother, she had this business and it did public relations for General Motors, and they would have these big events. One of them being GM would sponsor Sundance. So they would provide transportation for all the actors that were in town. My mother was there with her business, and she was regularly driving. And I cannot tell you how many people I have bumped into over the years that were like, "Oh yeah, we haven't met, but your mom drove me in Sundance, and I heard all about."
Why didn't she drive me at Sundance
She
when I was there a few
probably
years ago?
did. Well, I guess you'd remember because she would have told you she was
Yeah.
my mom. But it's funny because when I hear about your mom doing it, I love it. And I
Yeah.
love it for her and you. But with my mom, I was a little embarrassed.
She's basking in the attention. She
Good
loves
for
it.
her.
Even Parenthood, when I met Peter Krause, first thing he said to me is like, "I know your mother really well. I rode with her 3 times in Sundance. She told me your whole story."
Oh my God.
I have yet to have someone meet my mother before they meet me.
I do wonder if I've met her.
Maybe. She has like gray hair. She let her natural hair grow out. She's like
Ooh.
embracing aging. I think it's beautiful.
Love that.
She works first class cabin.
Okay.
I don't know how to say it in English, but
Well,
she
say
says
it in Portuguese,
she's
please.
like chefe de cabine, which means cabin chief, maybe, or manager of the cabin.
Like queen of the cabin.
Yeah, she's queen of the cabin.
Wow.
That's the formal term.
I love this for her.
Queen
I love
of the
her.
cabin.
Yeah. I was going dictator of the cabin, but queen of the
No.
cabin
Yeah,
is much
queen of the cabin.
better. And what's her route?
Well, right now she's commuting from Arizona.
Well, she's about to live
She
here,
moved to
but-
LA, but it's really hard to transfer to the American Airlines base in LA. It's a highly desirable base
And tell me why.
because everyone wants to live in LA.
Well, that would be my guess. But
Yeah.
also, what's tricky is I imagine the salaries are based across the nation.
But LA is just a lovely place to live for a lot of people.
Yeah, and if your daughter is Camila Mendes, you get a house.
She was in Miami before, which was a great base, and she got like a lot of good flights going out of there, especially to Brazil. She was living with my sister for a long time. My sister finally moved out and is now living in Ireland with her husband. So my mom's an empty nester. She doesn't have a husband. She's like, why am I here in Florida when I could be in LA with my daughter?
Yeah.
So
How old's your sister?
she's 33.
Okay, so this is comforting because even though you were moving around a lot, you
Yeah.
minimally had her. Are you guys tight?
We're tight. We're both terrible at texting. We don't have that kind of dynamic where we are texting and calling all the time. But when I see her, we're like sharing tons of stories. You know, we're super open with each other.
But she's also 4 years older than you?
I was starting high school when she went to college.
Right.
So like not around for most of my high school experience.
Did you like her boyfriends?
We have very different types.
Okay.
I'd say.
Oh, what's her type?
She's like, my sister's no, it's fine. I don't know that she also
Maybe
has
it's
like,
not. Maybe I just pressured you. It sounds like it's not.
But I have an
according to
answer.
Monica.
I have an answer.
Okay.
And it's that
Well, because I
she's-
know your type, or at least I know who you're dating
Do
currently.
you know my
We're
type?
about
think I
you're gonna have
do.
to
It's
tell
all
us.
over the place, though.
Okay, let's
no
hear
guy
it.
that I've dated is the same, I feel.
I bet you they have a quintessential quality that you're attracted to.
Maybe.
Let's talk about your sister's
Maybe
type
some of them.
first,
But my
and then let's
sister's
get
type,
to yours.
more importantly, my sister's
Yes.
type.
Yeah.
I'd say she likes a nerd because she's kind of nerdy herself. Like she's so fucking smart. My sister is a little genius, and I feel like she needs someone who can keep up with her in that way. So I'd say she likes more introverted, smart guys.
Yeah. I like that about her.
I love her.
She was a gamer girl for a long time. She was like really good at League of Legends. She's in that world.
I got my arms around what I think
Yeah.
she is and who she likes.
You know everything.
Who
about
I
her.
like or my sister?
Your sister.
Oh, okay.
Because my fear was you're going to go like, who's my sister like? And in your head, you're like, she likes dumb jocks. And then you were like, how am I going to say this in a non-offensive way? But this was ideal. I love when girls like nerds.
Yeah.
Nerds run the world.
I love
Billionaires.
nerds. Yeah.
Back to
all nerds.
billionaires. They're
It all
nerds.
goes back to billionaires. Wait, so your type. Let's
My
find the
type.
through line.
I don't think there is one. I really don't.
Funny. Are they all funny?
Definitely funny, but I've dated non-funny guys.
Oh, how boring.
Didn't work out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
If you can't make me laugh, it doesn't last.
But your current boyfriend, Rudy,
Very funny.
of course, successful as someone who's
Yeah.
funny. Do you know her boyfriend?
I know who he is.
Okay, back to 8.
We were on something.
We were talking about moving around a lot. We were talking about what's home, and home is South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Georgia, kind of running from your Brazilianness.
Oh, that's what it was. Being in the theater department in high school, I could see how me being Latino was limiting. And so I would literally wear sunscreen all over my body in high school.
Oh boy.
Our school was kind of outdoors. It almost was like a campus.
A lot of exposure.
So I was always in the sun, and I get tan really easily. So then I was like, I need to wear constant sunscreen. I mean, in a way, it's very good for your skin.
It is good for your skin. You got ahead of the
But
game.
it was motivated by a desire to have lighter skin.
Did you think for a second when she said that about the sunscreen that she was trying to make her skin white? from
Oh,
the
no, did
sunscreen?
you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For a second,
And you want to hang it on me?
I just wondered if you thought that.
But also, when I was a teenager, there weren't that many opportunities for Latina actresses. So I think this has changed a lot. Part of that has helped. I feel like I'm so appreciative and I embrace my culture so much now.
What was the year you lived in Brazil like? And what city were you in?
I was in Brasilia, which is the capital. I loved it. It was the first time I got to live close to my extended family and see them regularly. But Brasilia is not really a representation of Brazil because it's so man-made. It's so new. It was
Oh.
built in the 60s. If you look at it from a bird's eye view, it's structured like an airplane. It's very organized. Every street is like block B, block G. There's not much charm to it. I mean, there is
Right.
to me because that's what I'm familiar with. So I see the beauty in it. And I think it's so fascinating to have a city like that. I just think it's really interesting.
Because it's modern, obviously.
Very modern.
And what age were you when you lived there?
I was 10, 11.
And obviously, when you were there, I'm assuming the people that lived there saw you as an American.
I'd say so. I went to the school called Escola Americana de Brasília, which is an American school in Brasilia.
Yeah.
So because Brasilia is the capital, everyone that went to that school, their dad or mom or whoever worked at the embassy, it was like an international school. So I was surrounded by people from all over the world. I didn't necessarily feel like a fish out of water there because everyone was
A fish out of water. And how were you doing, like, moving around through the streets of Brasilia?
Brasilia is so safe and chill. It's not like other cities in Brazil.
Right, not like Rio de Janeiro where
No,
you're...
there's definitely still violence and things happen.
And you already spoke Portuguese, I presume?
Yeah, and then this made my Portuguese stronger and better because then I was learning grammar and speaking it regularly. So I feel like now my level of Portuguese speaking is so much stronger.
2 questions. Which do you prefer speaking? Like, if you got to only speak one of the languages for the rest of your life and everyone be able to understand what you're saying, what would it be?
I mean, I have to say English because it's such a universal language.
But in this scenario I'm painting, you're
Whatever language I
communicating
choose.
with everyone.
Okay, then Portuguese, absolutely. I love speaking Portuguese, just my English is stronger.
Yes.
I feel more confident. I feel funnier in English. I feel like I'm more myself in English. I don't get to practice my Portuguese often enough to feel like it's a representation of who I am when I speak.
Because to me, it appears to be like if you gave me the choice between driving a Ferrari and a Land Rover. The musicality to the language.
Yeah.
I mean, things are popping. There's a flow. I would way prefer to speak that.
There's a lot more expression in Portuguese. There's a lot more emotion. Anytime me and my mom get in a fight and I'm speaking in English, she's like, can you speak Portuguese, please? She's like, when you're speaking English, you sound like a robot. She's like, I feel like there's no emotion in your voice. That's crazy because I feel like there is, but when I'm speaking in Portuguese, she feels like there's a warmth in the way that I speak that maybe when I'm fighting in English, I don't have.
Phonically, it sounds more passionate, more romantic, more everything.
Yeah. Now I'm dating Rudy, and
He's Brazilian as well, right?
So for the first time ever, I'm dating someone who I can speak Portuguese with. And it's amazing because now there's like a whole side of me that was like dormant.
Yes.
That I didn't get to bring out and show people.
Yes.
And now I get to share that with him, and we make jokes in Portuguese all the time. It's like we have our own little language together.
Yes.
Monica's going to erupt in flames with this question, but during the lovemaking, we must be speaking Portuguese, right?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
good.
English.
No.
Really?
No.
Oh my God. Well,
Would you laugh?
Doesn't that seem natural?
But it's not.
It's still not my dominant language,
Right.
though, you know?
Okay. It's a big swing.
I don't even know what I would say in Portuguese. Remember, I learned Portuguese from my family. So I don't know what I would say.
How about, okay, forget lovemaking, but how about like just when things are getting romantic, you guys are having a drink together in the evening, will it transition into Portuguese and that is more connected and more emotional?
Yeah, we speak Portuguese with each other a lot.
Okay. What percentage will we say?
I'll be realistic. I'll say it's like 30%.
That's great.
Yeah.
big, yeah.
And then, incredibly, every time you're around people, you guys can openly gossip about people right in front of them.
Totally.
What a superpower for a
I
couple
know.
to have.
But it's also, as soon as you do that, people kind of know there must be something you're
They can
hiding.
feel it.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
You know how like couples have a voice? Like you have like the way that you speak when you're like, being cute with each other. We switch to Portuguese when we do that. We have like an inside joke of speaking Portuguese, and in a way it's kind of mocking our family in a loving way. We hear the way they speak to us, so we speak that way to each other as like an inside joke.
Yeah, because if you think about when you're in public with your partner, half of what you're doing is like connecting, like, oh my God, you hear that?
Yeah.
That you have a very specific look on your
Exactly.
face. It's the nudge of the knee. So to have like a language you could actually articulate.
I also am proud of you because if you grew up trying to stifle that part, to now choose a partner where that's a big part of your life
Yeah.
and to bring it back out and understand that it's okay.
Totally.
That's a big arc.
It's like we can understand each other in ways I've never felt understood, especially around family and the relationship to family. I think Americans have a lot of boundaries with family. I've struggled in therapy to talk about this because Brazilian mothers, and you know, Rudy made a movie about this that's gonna come out, Musica, in April. And in the movie, he talks about it has to do with having these overbearing Brazilian mothers who just love too hard. And that's very normal in Brazil. You're very attached to your family, and therapists will be like, you gotta draw the line. They really enforce the boundaries, but it doesn't work.
Right.
It just doesn't work. I'm like,
yeah.
but do you understand Brazilian families? This doesn't apply here, and I can't fight it. Resisting it is making it worse.
Yeah.
They
And
had a
Rudy-
boundaries vaccine. Yeah. They're completely
It's true.
inoculated from boundaries.
My mom was like, boundaries. Boundaries are toxic. She's like,
She might be right, by the way.
No. Boundaries are important.
but I think Rudy has helped me embrace that type of familial dynamic because he experiences it too, and we can connect over that and make peace with it instead of fight it.
And I bet there's so much more understanding for what each person's going through with their family
Yes.
and tolerance when the other person's
And
family's
helping
around.
each other exercise patience.
Yeah.
You know,
Was he born there or here?
he was born in New Jersey.
Okay, great. And both of his parents also?
His dad's Italian
Oh, wow.
and his mom's Brazilian. But yeah, they both
This is
immigrated.
a passion atomic bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I want to see him fly off the handle or something.
What's his type? Let's talk about his types now.
A fire extinguisher? You just said something that was intriguing. Oh, I think we
That
could.
she's proud of me.
Yeah.
She is proud of you. Our very close friend, Anna, is Venezuelan. So I think we could stereotype here. The whole Latin family world is so much closer. And I think a very enviable way. I think it'd be a big pain in the ass at times, but overall, I think that's what a family
Very
should
special.
be.
Yeah, it's a support system. It's a community of people. And I'm so envious of my family that lives there because when I go visit in Brazil and I see my family, they have the closest relationships and they see each other every weekend. Like, there's such a family vibe there. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I had that.
Oh, in COVID, Anna would get on these Zoom calls with like 16 members of her family.
Yeah.
They'd all get hammered. They'd be on a Zoom call for like 6 hours. They'd be partying together.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, fuck, that seems fun.
And her girlfriend just went with her to Spain for a family wedding. And she came back and she was like, I'm so jealous of that. Like, what happens when they're all together. I noticed that too because I think it's a lot of places, not just Latin countries, but Indian families are like that too. It's super tight and everyone's living with each other until they're old. I have distanced myself so much from it that I can see it from a bird's eye view. America is so closed off family-wise.
Well, the waspy Protestant history, the English. We'll
But
go
it
to
does
England.
feel
Everyone's still like
crazy
so polite.
that you send your children off to college at 18. Sometimes I'm like, 18-year-olds, they're so baby, and then they're going to live by themselves? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I did it. I guess I'm fine.
Well, that was my next question. How long before you got into Tisch? You went to NYU Tisch. That's where my wife went.
Oh, really? I
Yep.
didn't know that.
She did musical theater.
Big fan of your wife.
Well, I'll pass that along to her. I'm hoping some of these things still occurred there that I've learned occurred while she was there. When did you set your sights on it and what was the fantasy?
I had wanted to go there for a long time. But I also wanted to go to UCLA, but I didn't get in.
Well, I can't wait to report this to my wife because we fight all the time
Because Dax
about
went to UCLA.
You went to UCLA.
Yeah. It's a very good school.
Go Bruins. But I did a summer program there when I was 17, like an acting program.
Oh, fun.
And I was like, I need to go to this school. Like, I was so excited. But I recognized how difficult it was to get in, especially when you're not a California resident.
And out of high school. I could have
Yeah.
never got in out of high school. I transferred.
But I mean, I'm glad I went to NYU because I got to study acting with a BFA and not a BA. The BA, I would have had a lot more gen eds. Even the amount of gen eds I had at NYU, I was like, I'm over it.
Okay, so if you do a BFA, you don't have to do all these prerequisites.
It's a Bachelor of Fine Arts versus just a Bachelor of
Art.
Arts. There's less of all the math and
Yeah.
all the regular stuff you have to take.
Right.
Yeah, it was more concentrated. And I still had certain requirements, but not as much.
NYU's a
Liberal
better
arts.
school for
Liberal arts education. I mean, we love a liberal arts education.
I remember I had gotten to Emerson on a full ride, and my dad was really stoked about that. And then I got the NYU acceptance letter with no scholarship.
Right.
Ouch.
And he's like, yay!
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, you're killing me.
Yeah.
God, that's an expensive
I
school.
know. It's
What is it?
insane.
Like 40,000 or something?
No.
A
Try
semester.
double
A
that.
semester.
Oh, okay.
It's probably like in the 120
It's 80 grand a year.
Maybe
Pretty
more.
much, yeah.
Do you know how much UCLA was in 2000?
In state, you're saying in state.
Obviously,
How much was it?
$3,800.
In state, though.
What?
$3,800.
Are you kidding?
I got a full degree from there for under $8,000.
That's
But
insane.
If you were out of state, it would have been, I don't know. Do you remember how much it was out of state?
It was significantly more, but I want to say it was in the like high 20s. I don't know what it is now.
It was a long time ago.
Back when your mom and I were in college. What's her number?
What's her type?
Does she like white boys? Tall white
does,
boys?
actually.
Oh, well. I cannot wait to be on American Airlines flight and bump into her. I know I will be. I'm willing it into my life.
Just fly out of Phoenix next time.
I'm going to be up in that fucking right by the toilet where they hate when people congregate. I'm going to be up there shooting the shit and giggling and laughing for the whole flight. People are going to be like, what is this guy doing?
You're going to have Riverdale on the whole flight.
Yes, I'm going to make sure
They're like,
everyone...
have you seen Giselle Mendes?
I'm glad for you that you didn't go to UCLA because I think if anyone ever has an excuse to live in New York for a
100%.
moment of their life,
Yeah.
fuck that education, fuck
Yeah.
whatever. I'm very envious of that.
I'm so happy I went to school there.
Did you land and just go like, oh my God, this is my life. Look, I'm in a storybook.
Especially coming from Miami, because I already kind of had a little bit of of a party phase at that time as I was graduating high school. And then I went to New York.
Yeah.
And I was like a kid in a candy store. But in a way that it was like destructive for the first year.
Oh, good. I like to hear that.
But then I got my shit together.
Just because there was so many clubs and
Yeah.
parties.
Oh my God. I lived it up freshman year. Because you could.
Yeah.
Big city.
But I had acting classes to go to, and I was like hungover.
Yeah, the bars close at 4 a.m. there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have lived if I lived there, actually, because just when I would go there to do press, it was almost life-ending every time, because it just never stops.
It's so stimulating.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the weird questions that I am most amused by my wife's education there. She explained to me, we were walking down the street, and she's like, oh, I used to go to that building and do Alexander technique. And I'm like, what the fuck is Alexander technique? And she goes, I'm surprised they allowed it. We were in our sweatpants and we would lay on top of each other and we would like breathe in each other's mouths.
And like tremble.
Yes,
right?
and the boys would be erect. Of course, they're like 19-year-old boys and they're laying on girls. Are they still teaching Alexander?
100% they are.
Oh my God. And
They
was it
love Alexander technique.
Walk us through what a normal class in Alexander.
Well, okay. You know how NYU Tisch has different acting studios that you can go to?
I don't, but I know
assuming
there's a musical
your wife
theater one.
was
She
in musical theater.
Yep.
I was in one called Playwrights Horizon. So each studio had its own curriculum and they did things differently. I never had a straight Alexander technique class, but we did dabble in it. It's part of any movement class. I feel like you learn Alexander technique.
You'd gather in the morning and then the teacher would be like, all right, let's start moving.
Yeah,
like
I'm
act
pretty
like a
sure
tiger
this was
stuff, or-
Alexander technique. My memory might be mistaken, but basically we would lie down and try to find the tremor in your body. You would try to find the push and pull of your knee. You know what I
my
mean?
God.
Where the sweet spot between, and that would be how you release tension.
Yeah.
And then like people would start crying and laughing because it's like when we do it in our hips in certain areas and you'd find the tremor there.
Trauma would be released.
Yeah. And people would be like, crying hysterically.
Oh, wow.
I feel like people were making that up.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That was happening.
People would cry and stuff in movement class.
Oh, you saying you thought people were making that
Yeah,
up.
like, because I also did some acting. And in those classes, people would cry. And I, in my head, because I'm a double Virgo, I didn't know it then, but I was like, they're lying. They're forcing this to be, so
They're
the teacher will like
performing.
them. It's a performance.
Yeah,
and I was like,
exactly.
I'm not.
We're so similar in that way. It's like, if I'm not experiencing it, it's not real. You're faking it, because if it were
Liars.
real, I'd be
But
experiencing
it's crazy because it's $80,000 a year.
For that.
to have a good cry.
And you're just like trembling on the floor in your sweatpants. And they're like, all right, good luck paying off your debt.
Exactly.
You graduated from NYU?
I did. And the timing was insane. So I finished classes a semester early, but then I wasn't going to graduate until May of 2016. Between me finishing classes and May 2016, I booked Riverdale and shot the pilot. And then we found out we were getting picked up a few weeks before I graduated. And then I had Yankee Stadium graduation.
That's where people
Upfronts,
graduate?
which is that thing that
Yeah.
network TV does. And then Radio City Music Hall graduation for Tisch. Upfronts were perfectly sandwiched between the two.
Oh, wow.
So I got to do all three and not have to sacrifice any of that.
So clearly you had an agent while you were at college. How did you get called in for Riverdale? And they saw people in New York, obviously.
Yeah, they did. They were nationwide. It was crazy. I interned for a talent agency when I was a junior.
Which
I think.
one?
A really, really small one. Carson Kolker.
Very trusted brand.
Yeah, they were really small. There was like 3 people in the office. It
And
was a
so would you
tiny
submit
agency.
yourself to things as you were working on a desk?
No, but I started to get a lay of the land and I was like, oh, this is how it works. And these are the little breakdowns. And I would see the breakdowns and be like, I'd be good for that.
Yeah, I could play
I snuck my way in
31-year-old
there.
Jewish mom. When you're starting out, you
Oh
think you
my
can play
God,
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
I could play 40, I could play 16, you name it.
I snuck my way in there because I told the guy who was hiring me, I was like, yeah, I'm really interested in the other side of the business. And then he brought me on and then I got to see how these things are run. And then at the end of my internship, I was like, hey, totally not a big deal if you say no, all good, but would you be down to audition me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, absolutely, because at that point we'd created a friendship.
rapport.
Yeah, they liked you.
And so I auditioned for them and then that's how I
And when you
started working.
took that internship, if we're being fully honest now, was your intention to get represented by them?
Honestly, no. I think I just needed experience. I was doing classes at NYU during the summer, and I wanted to also gain some work experience while I was there. It started off genuinely just me wanting to understand more about the business. And then as I was there, I was like, I wonder if they'd sign me. And then I realized, you know what? I actually think maybe they would.
Well, I think if you're in the non-acting world, you might think, oh yeah, you get an agent. And then for me, I couldn't get an agent. I didn't get an agent for like 4 years. Finally.
No, I can't imagine.
When I was
so hard.
performing at the Groundlings every Sunday, I finally got an agent. The agent was so bottom of the barrel. They literally went bankrupt while I was shooting the pilot of Punk'd. I was like, where are my checks? And I couldn't get a hold of the woman. And then they were straight up chapter 11. That's who I was represented by.
That's the benefit of school sometimes. They do like the showcases and also applying for a job or an internship. They're like, oh, NYU. Okay. That's really what you're paying
That's
for.
what the 80 grand a year gets you.
Which is a leg up.
But I also think if you met an Endeavor agent in a bar and said, look, I'm about to spend 240 grand at NYU. I'll give you 180 grand to represent me. It might be cheaper.
Not a bad idea.
Yes.
God, I wonder if anyone's tried
Hip
that.
pocket me. Like, I'm about to dump a $250,000 on this. Would you rep me for 100 grand?
God, I should have done that.
I know. I just didn't have the 100 grand.
Either.
We didn't think that one through.
No, I had $3,800. What if I said I'm about to go to UCLA, but I'll give you $3,800 to represent me?
I have a question. When did, because you said you didn't think you were pretty or...
And when did you realize you're a 10?
Wait, hang
Yeah.
on. When did I say that?
Okay, didn't you say that?
Yeah, you said
Okay.
you're a big unibrow and you're a hairy
when
monster.
when I was in
You were
elementary
young,
school.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And you felt like, oh gosh, there's all these Sarah Corns.
Sarah Corns of the world.
Shout out
I'm not.
Sarah Corn.
Sarah Corn.
You did it again.
I can't say it. Could never be with her.
But
Yeah,
when
just
did you
because-
realize?
That I was pretty?
Yeah. I mean, really.
You were hot.
I'm curious.
This is a hard question to answer, but
I want you to
we're
be
forcing
honest.
you to.
No. I think I was in 6th grade.
Yeah,
Because I
boys.
started waxing my legs and my unibrow. and like,
Wax your full leg.
yeah, I started young. I had a lot of hair on my
I know, but that's so
And I had a
tight.
full unibrow. Like, it was time.
Okay.
They're kind of back, though.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
brows
Have you thought about... But you
You're
probably,
growing them out?
Did you electrolysis it at this point?
Like laser?
Yeah.
No, not
Do
here.
they call it that anymore?
Laser. They call it laser.
They call it laser electrolysis.
Sorry, I'm your mom's age. If you remember. My gray hair's
No,
coming in
I
too.
actually was talking about that with someone the other day. I was like, maybe I should laser this because I have to tweeze here constantly.
Sure.
Yeah.
And someone's like, why don't you just laser? And I was like, well, what if it comes back in style to have a unibrow? And they're like, Cammy, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, not maybe full,
But I don't
even
believe that.
I even noticed my good friend Mae Whitman. She started kind of wearing her eyebrows where it was coming around more like Frida
Kahlo.
I just think
Kahlo.
my eyes are too close together that if I do that, it'll bring them in more.
You'll look like a cyclops.
I'll look a little cross-eyed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll become cross-eyed because you'll start focusing on the hairs that you can see.
Unibrows, I feel really certain that in my lifetime, they're not coming back.
I don't think so.
A unibrow. Thick brows, yeah.
And maybe like almost connecting but not
No,
connect.
I
Nope.
don't think so. I don't
You
think
know,
so.
this is a weird story, you guys. So I was somehow at my family Christmas and there was a video camera running. I don't know how all this happened, but on the video camera, I was saying that I have been cursed with the family unibrow. I was in 7th grade. I was plucking mine in junior high or something. And I said this on this family cousin's video. This is the weirdest. I got a letter in the mail. Mind you, also, this was 9 towns over that my cousins lived. My cousin's friend saw that video and wrote me a letter that said, I have great compassion for a man with a unibrow.
Compassion.
It was like a forward. I got hit on in the mail. I got a letter.
Wait, oh, he was hitting on you?
She,
Oh, she.
I know I heard mail and I thought
Me too.
mail.
MAIL. God, I wish I had that letter. And here's what happened.
I love the word compassion.
I know,
And
that's
I
such
don't
a
even know
odd-
that that's what it was. But it was basically saying, I know you
That's
have a
how you
unibrow and I like
interpreted
it. Was the letter.
Oh, wow. And how
And-
old was she?
My age. Well, my cousin was my age.
Oh, I imagine her to be like 40.
I would have been down. Anyways, it was so complicated. I was flattered. I was so embarrassed someone knew I had a unibrow besides my family. So I couldn't.
As if
ever-
it wasn't on your face.
I was plucking
Oh, you're
it. Yes. God,
Right,
no.
duh.
I didn't actually have one. Camilla. So I was flattered and I wanted to be with her, but I was too embarrassed she knew. I couldn't start up a thing with someone that knew I had a unibrow. This was my big secret. It was already out. And then this tremendous guilt that I wasn't rewarding her forwardness. This was such a brave thing for a 7th grade girl to do. I pray someone in the audience knows this person and just says, I've always been
that's
in
bold.
awe of your
That's really bold.
confidence.
I'm going to add something. I feel like you didn't like her because in your head, you're like, well, she probably has a unibrow, which is why she likes it. And I hate with that. I hate her. She's
That is
ugly.
a
She's ugly.
very ungenerous
Astute. It's
assessment
very
of what
astute.
I was feeling.
I'm just saying,
No.
you were young and young people do this.
But I just owned
You
all
felt outed.
4 of my reactions, which is like deep flattery, deep embarrassment and shame, total admiration, and then major guilt that I didn't reward her forwardness with a reciprocation.
And fear that she was so ugly.
Sheshacorn.
Shericorn.
Is that you, Shericorn? Was that letter
Shericorn.
from
That
you?
was
She's
her.
made her way around.
I only know one other person with your experience, really, and that's Ashton Kutcher. The first audition of his life was the 70s show. And there's got to be pros and cons to it. Of course, as someone who it took forever to get employed, I was just jealous of that scenario. But at the same time, I now, in retrospect, am delighted. I had a whole real life here that I was miserable and not important. And I really am grateful that I had that struggle before.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for you, what were the pros and cons of it happening that immediately after school?
I had been auditioning for a year, I guess, which I know isn't a long time in the grand scheme of things, but it's not like Riverdale was my first audition. It was just my first bite.
And I didn't mean to say it that way.
Yeah.
Just, you were still in school. It's not like you had
I had the
moved
safety
in-
net of school.
Yeah, and you hadn't
Yeah.
moved to another city and were sitting around, you know.
I just got so lucky. The funny thing is, in college, in my acting classes, I had a teacher that would be like, "You're going to play like a popular girl in a CW show one day." He would say that to me all the time.
Were you offended by that comment?
Yeah, I was
bet.
actually.
Yeah, because you're NYU Tish.
Yeah, but I thought it was also flattering because I'm like, oh, there's a place for me in the industry. I'm marketable.
Yeah.
But I was like, what about an HBO show?
Yeah. What about Breaking Bad?
Yeah. But he was right. It's a hard question. I haven't noticed that it's affected me in any serious negative way.
It's impossible to know.
But I also just finished the show.
And where did it shoot?
Vancouver.
Fuck. So I've had a couple friends that were on shows that went a very long time there, and one of the people went mad. They left a very popular show and been offered a quadrillion dollars and just couldn't do it
Yeah.
anymore. Not that Canada's an unpleasant place, but it's like your life is on pause. You don't live there. You're not building a network that will go on.
It has nothing to do with Canada. It has to do with being somewhere that isn't your home for 10 months out of a year for 7 years. Also, it consumes you. Everything revolves around it. When you have time off and the things that you get to do in between, it's always like, okay, well, when are we back shooting this? Okay, and then that ends when? And you got invited to this event? Okay, let me clear it with production. Everything is always about,
Trying to get back to LA for 5 minutes?
yeah. So
When did
every
you
decision
move?
in my life, I had to like clear through the show.
Here's a logistical question. Since you were living in New York and you got cast on a show that was shooting in Vancouver, there's really no incentive for you to move anywhere, I guess. When did you move to LA?
Well, there was an incentive because at least LA was closer to Vancouver than New York was. So I
So
moved.
did you immediately get an apartment when you got on that show out here?
After season 1, I got a place in LA. Got an apartment for the time in between.
Right, which was 2 months.
Yeah, I would just get an Airbnb, furnished rental, and then,
Cry.
yeah, try to get other work and then go back. But that's another thing. A lot of us wanted to continue working on our time off because this was our only opportunity to do other things.
To take this opportunity and make the most of it.
Yeah, and so you'd go from 10 months to then 2 months on something else and then back. It was just this never-ending
You
work
just
cycle.
didn't stop working for
No.
7 years.
No.
And here's another thing that happens up there. This is what would have killed me if I was ever young and on a show up there. Is you're not home. No one's looking. There's this weird anonymity you feel being in another city you don't live in. And I think you can get into more and more trouble. Like if you make a mess, it's like, I don't live here. I'm going to go back
Yeah.
to wherever.
I guess that just wasn't my experience.
You're not that type.
No.
Also, there's no time. There's
Were
no
you
time
witnessing
to get in
it?
trouble. If you're
I
working.
witnessed
No,
it.
a lot of those
Oh, you
actors get in
did.
big old trouble up there.
Yeah.
Were you witnessing this at all?
I did.
You could see that was happening to people.
Totally. That's why I'm grateful for having gone to NYU. Because I got to be a dumb young adult living in the city by myself. I went through that phase of growth then. So by the time I booked a job, I was like ready.
Yeah, because Monica, there's these legendary stories. What's the hotel everyone stays at? The
yeah.
London or
Slutton.
something? The Slutton.
It's called the Sutton.
There you go.
But people call it the
Wow,
Slut.
Yes,
I
it's
know.
a fucking orgy of young actors. Everyone's bed hopping.
I don't think it's as hot as it used to be. It used to be such a vibe, but I don't think it's.
They should have had like
frequented
an
anymore.
in-house clinic, like in the lobby where you could go down and grab your penicillin shot, go to work, come back, fuck it all up again that next
Yeah,
night.
but did you live in a hotel?
No, just for the pilot. Then we all got places.
But some people stay at the Slutton for a while
Yeah.
because it's good living if that's your vibe.
Yeah, there is like a residence outside of it. Not residence, but more long-term stays.
Oh boy.
And also when it gets too dark, like you've done too much carnage and that you just move rooms. It's like a little reset. Like it really lends itself to
Go
it.
into a different
Yeah, it's
zone.
like, fuck, I gotta get on another floor
Yeah.
of this hotel. I can't possibly get off on the 8th floor ever again with what I did in the elevator last night.
But also, it's not like Vancouver's the rowdiest city either. I mean, I guess it's what you make it.
It's an enormously active drug world.
Yes, that's very true.
Gabor Mate's work was there.
Yeah.
They got a lot of heroin epidemic style stuff.
true.
Did you end up owning a place there ever?
No, because I just couldn't ever feel 100% that our show was going to get renewed. No matter how successful, I'm like, anything could happen.
Well, I know this is your disposition. I've written down some quotes. I relate to you in this way. And I bet it's being divorced and constantly moving. And
Yeah.
every time something's good, the shoe's going to drop, the shoe's going to drop. So even when things are good, it's like, did I peak? Is it over? So that's probably in the mix. Because, of course, on the outside, it's preposterous that you didn't think that show was going to get. It was the number one show on CW for
I
7
know,
years. It's
but-
like the people on Friends worried they're not going to get picked up next year.
But it's just because network television was such a weird, it didn't feel like there was much longevity in that.
Yeah, it was a very unstable period.
It was literally during the transition of network television going down and streaming going up. So you just never know with these things. But you're right, I'm very cautious when it comes to those kinds of decisions.
Do you hoard your money?
Not really. I don't mind investing, but I'm definitely on the conservative side of investing. I trust my dad a lot.
Do you drive a flashy car?
No. And I don't have a flashy home. I'm not a flashy person. I like to act like I have less.
That's the move.
Not act in like a fake way. I mean, I like to live my life to like the most that I'm comfortable, but not exceeding that.
Yeah, for me, the elevation in comfort does not offset the loss of safety. I can't enjoy it unless I know I can own it several times over.
That's what it is that I get afraid that if I get used to too nice of a lifestyle, then I'll have to upkeep that lifestyle forever because to lose it would be devastating.
Yes. Monica will tell you, so our old house is like 1,000 feet that way. And I actually got great pride out of the fact that I do think most people that came to visit us were like, I guess I expected a little bit more. I think there's a phase where it's like,
Yeah.
you want a really nice thing to impress people. And then this other weird thing happened to me where it's like, I was actually getting tremendous pride out of people coming over and being very disappointed in our house.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of
I definitely feel
gangster.
that when people come to my house.
I think there's a way to own that. And I actually
Yeah.
started feeling cool about it.
At the time when I bought my first home, I was like, I'm 26. What business do I have having some nice ass home? You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, I kind of want to be in my 20s and just have a home that's right for me.
Well, I had this really weird dissonance between, I'll remember, I bought that house while I was still with my ex-girlfriend, Bree, and we went and slept there one night. The remodel was about to start, so there was no furnace. It was cold. There was no beds. We brought sleeping bags, and we were laying in front of the fireplace. And I was looking around, and I was like, I didn't do enough, in my mind, manual labor. Where I'm from and what I know about people at whatever age, I'm like, I can't own this because I didn't really do enough work. I couldn't accept that it was mine.
It was too bougie.
Yeah, I just was like, I didn't
But
kill
what?
myself for.
It's
that
not?
house is not bougie.
It's a
at
great
all.
house.
It's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
But it's a 3,000 square foot ranch on Los Feliz Boulevard.
But
it's
that's
like you're not
your
overwhelmed.
hang up about
Being fancy.
being fancy and what Michigan work is versus artsy
This
work,
ridiculous
or
work,
whatever.
yeah.
But you definitely worked. It was a long time.
Yes and no, Monica. I had been here.
Yes and no, Monica.
I had been here a while, but really, I bought the house in 2005 or 6, and I got punked in 2003. So really, I went from a one-bedroom apartment for a decade in Santa Monica to owning a pretty damn nice house within 2 years of working. I was like, this can't be real.
It overwhelms me.
It's
I honestly
overwhelming.
don't want to live in like a big fancy house.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I just feel like
scary.
it's too much to think about.
I have thought about this moment a few times. So I bought it in 2020. I told you that when you first got here. We did our episode first.
Yeah, the first part of this episode.
And I'm going to move in 2025, and it's going to be gorgeous. I mean,
It's gonna be great.
It's going
It's
to be
a
great.
Nikki Kehoe.
Nikki Kehoe is my designer. It's crazy.
It'll take your breath away when it's done.
It will, but I've already prepped myself. I know what's going to happen that first night.
Because do you think you'll be sitting there with that same feeling like this can't really be mine?
I'm just going to have a bunch of friends over the first day. It'll be so fun. Everyone's going to leave, and then it'll just be little me
In this
The
home.
little mouse.
Yeah.
this home with all this pretty stuff in it, and it's perfect, and I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so sad.
I get it.
I'm trying to decide how to not make that happen, but I think it just will, and
But
I'll
why
have to see.
What will
sad?
lead to the sadness?
The thing we talk about on this show every day, which is like, now what? Like, I did it.
Yeah.
And here we are.
But
I have
honestly,
the perfect
there will be a
thing.
ton of problems.
I know.
The thing is,
You'll be
like,
kept quite busy,
I know.
even with a brand new house.
yeah, even brand new houses, just shit goes wrong all the time. There will always be something to work on. It's never finished. It's
You're
never
right.
finished.
You're right.
Do you feel, well, I think it's challenging for a lot of young people to come into a very successful show and share recognition.
And share recognition.
Wait, everyone
What do
on
you mean, like-
Riverdale all comes up.
There's going to be
we're
like a
all, like-
magazine cover
Yeah,
and who's
yeah.
standing where, and everyone's new and they care a lot as they should. And I have a lot of sympathy for navigating that as
Yeah.
a young person.
Totally.
And I think there's been a lot of shows where the shit hit the fan or it was wild. But it would appear at least that you and Lily and who's the redhead?
Madeline.
Because you guys have a shared TikTok account.
We do.
Say the name of it. It's really cute.
Blonde, brunette, redhead.
That's so cute.
Isn't that great? I want to hang. Why can't I come to like a thing? I want to like go. I know you have the girls' night where you guys make pasta and drink wine.
That one came up, so it was like all of us in a COVID house. Not COVID house. We rented a house to quarantine in together our season during COVID. So we all had to quarantine for 2 weeks, and we were like, why not do it together? And while we were there, week 1, we were like, should we start a TikTok account? And then we just started making, it was like such a
But I feel
on the
like
whim thing.
This really went well for you. Like you love those girls, right?
I love them. Oh my God.
Lily was talking so
They're best
favorably
friends.
about.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like family to me. They're like
Yeah.
sisters.
I gotta.
I
come
just
over
saw
one.
them last week. And I was with KJ last night. I still see a lot of them.
Does this remind you when you and I first became friends, and I was like obsessed with the fact that you were young in Hollywood, and I'd
you
always be
kept
like,
saying,
I was like, oh my god,
"You're
you're gonna
so
have so much
young."
fun in Hollywood. Like, what do you do?
What?
I was like, what do you mean? What do you even mean? He's just
Yes.
trying to suck the youth out.
Yeah,
Of these
I want to
young
drink your adrenal chrome. Is that cool if I come over and have some of your
Absolutely.
adrenal chrome?
I'm
I
sure
don't
you
know.
could do that
Just
here in
think
LA.
about it. Think about it. If you guys are ever bored and you want me to swing by,
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Participate?
Yes.
I would love that.
Yeah, I can make fun of myself, I think.
You don't want to be on TikTok.
Oh my
no,
God.
not on TikTok person, but I will if you're inviting me. I would love to. I could use a little bump, I think, on the social media front. How many followers does that account have?
I don't know now. I think.
You know.
No, I actually don't know.
Okay, but
because
ballpark.
it changes. 13 mil. I can check right now.
Yeah.
We
I
need to
can
get
check
on
right
the
now.
TikTok,
I
Monica.
know. Actually, yeah, we do.
Can we
need
come
to
promote the
promote
show on your
that.
TikTok?
Absolutely.
Can you add Dirty Gray?
Well, Camila has
Black?
25 million followers on
That's
Instagram.
Incredible.
25 million.
Are you able to make a-
descending?
No.
I swear.
Here we go. She's going to drop. Are you able to monetize that pretty good?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
You should.
It's so cool.
12.7 is the following.
12.7.
I rounded it up a bit.
Maybe when you guys hit 13, I come to celebrate. I don't know. We do a little thing.
It is so fun that you guys all get along. I know what you mean. It could go so many ways.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you were pitted against each other
Yeah.
at some point.
What helped a lot, I think there are other shows that disprove my theory, but we're all so different. We don't look like each other. We're not going up for the same roles.
That is a blessing.
I just think that helps separate it.
Yeah, when you have like 3 blondes on a show, oh, dangerous.
Like which one's the blonde that's going to take off.
They're all corns.
Sarah Corn.
That
Corn.
mentality exists no matter what. I think it's just natural because you're all coming up at the same time. And I don't think competition is the right word because that sounds like I don't want my co-stars to thrive, which I do. I think it's more you go, oh, they did this. Oh, why don't I have that?
That's the problem. Is
Yeah.
You constantly have something that's relative to your own performance right in front of
Exactly.
your face. It's also the same stress of dating a fellow actor. It's like you could be in a cold phase and getting scared, and this person's turning everything down.
Yeah.
And they turn down the meeting for the movie you're trying to get a meeting for.
Exactly.
And of course you want your partner to win, but you become hyper aware of how
How can you
floundering
not
you are.
reflect it back on yourself and be like,
Yes.
wait, but I haven't done that yet. Why haven't I done that yet? It's just a natural part of being in the business.
Yeah, like if one of the cast members had hosted Saturday Night Live, I'd be like, oh, wow, that's a big
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
I'm enormously curious. You dated a dude on the show for a year, and then you guys were broken up for 4 more years on the show.
We dated for a year and then broke up for about a year and then got back together.
Oh, more exciting than what is in print. Okay.
Or the second time, it was like 7 months. It didn't last that long.
I can't imagine the merry-go-round I'd be on if I worked with a co-star I had broken up with. And I imagine myself like breaking up with them and being like, I am so fucking done with them. And then like 3 weeks later at work.
Well, it's because it was COVID. That was a big catalyst. It's because we broke up and then COVID happened. And then the show was down for a long time. So there was that big separation. And then when we came back to COVID, we were both in other relationships. But then naturally, the two of us got out of our own relationships, not knowing the other did.
And you're lonely and overworked in Canada.
And we're in lockdown. We can't leave Vancouver.
You're the only options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe second time's a charm. Maybe this time it'll be different.
Is it hard, though, when you finally break up to work together?
I think in the beginning, yes.
Well, we had Kaylee Cuoco on, and she talked about this because she dated someone. Jim
I didn't know that.
Parsons?
No.
She dated.
She's not her sister who likes nerds.
Johnny Galecki.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Johnny Corn.
She dated him, and then also
Had to keep working.
had to keep working. But she had positive things.
Well, some people are good at breakups and some are not. I think I'm quite good at it.
Me too. I think I am
Oh, that's
too.
good.
Okay, that helps.
And I'm good at keeping things professional. I mean, obviously, right when it happened, it's hard and it's emotional.
You see them laughing in a group, and you're like, oh, you're not
it's
even
the
hurting?
worst. Yeah.
Oh.
So rude.
But I think it's hard because the timing of the show, it was jokes. Because it was like anytime we started to hook up off set and knew that something was brewing, our characters would start dating. But they didn't know. No one knew. The writers just would naturally make it happen.
Did you guys ever have to date post-breakup on the show?
Yeah, so that's the second time.
Oh my God, you guys would be making out as breakups?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it'd
And
be
like
so
right
horny.
after.
Oh God.
Right after.
This is
That's
torture.
awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I don't know how you ever broke up.
Was it mutual breaking up, or did someone really break up with the other? Because that makes it so much worse.
It was mutual. It ended very peacefully and wish you all the best.
Wish
See
all
you
the
next
best.
week,
See you in
and
a
we'll,
minute.
But it
we'll
still
take our shirts
hurts.
off next week together and make out for an hour.
Yeah, it still hurts, no matter
Yes.
what. I think after that, there was another break between seasons. And when we came back for the last season, there was definitely like an air of zen. We're past it. We worked together a lot as well, but not in a romantic capacity. Honestly, can't even remember what this last season was. I don't think there was no character dating.
There's a Riverdale hyperfan screaming at her dash right now. How could you not remember kissing him on the boat? Episode 13.
I'm almost positive there wasn't any. And then it went super smoothly last season. I think the whole last season felt very different in that way, where we all really came together in the last season.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because it's like, this is the last
Let's not
time
miss
we're all
this.
going to be together in this room. Who knows when something like this will happen again.
Okay, well, somehow in the middle of a 7-year run, 7 times 22, how many episodes you guys do? 158 or something?
Oof, I can't even do that
7
math
times
right now.
22, 140 plus 7
60.
is 14, 154.
137.
No.
37.
Oh, that's
Oh,
okay.
they
So there
took
must have been some
breaks.
years without 22. I stand by
Oh,
the
yeah,
math.
yeah. The first year was 13.
Oh, there it is.
I messed up our
That's-
math.
we're
That
missing
was
that.
not our fault.
It was not your fault.
Yeah.
You guys are really good at math.
Thank you
Mainly
so much.
Dax. Mainly Dax.
But in the middle of all that, you squoze in The New Romantic, Palm Springs, Dangerous Lies.
Every movie I've done
Do
was
Revenge.
squozed in.
Oh, in those 2-month gaps? Jeez.
Camila.
And sometimes it was 2 in the same
Ah.
break. But it was a choice. I chose that.
Are you prepared for some downtime? You gotta be
I
mentally
have taken
prepared.
a lot of downtime, I feel.
Okay.
I feel like your definition of downtime and
I
ours is
know.
probably much different.
Yeah.
No, I always say I'm determined this year to check myself in somewhere, go to like a mental health retreat, be off the grid for a month. Like I am dying to do that. I haven't found the time to do it,
That's the
but it's on
Catch-22.
it's on the 2024 bucket list.
I like that. You need to do that.
Okay, so you have upgraded, which you made presumably in the summer of 23.
That was 2 years ago. See, because the strike last year just really fucked me.
Yeah.
Time just feels different. But no, it was 2 years ago. It was 2021. 2022, sorry.
2022.
2022, that makes sense because in strike in 2023, probably why you couldn't.
Yeah, it was the year before strike. I did it right before we filmed our last season.
This movie screams Devil Wears Prada. I'm out of the loop on these things, but from my memory, this is very Devil Wears Prada.
It is. And I hate making that comparison because I feel like anytime you compare your movie to like a really iconic movie that's beloved by millions, you're bound to get hate for it because you're like, how dare you compare this to that?
Right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to say that, but there are
You're saying
similarities. Thematically very similar, but in the art world.
Yeah, so Marissa Tomei, she is very much the Anna Wintour character. She works at an auction house.
Yeah.
She's not the owner, but she's second in command. And you are brand new on the job. You're trying to make a name for yourself. Everyone's bitchy. Everyone's mean.
Yeah.
She's very short, be the easiest way to say it.
Very short.
Short with people when she talks.
Yeah.
I don't want to I don't want to outright call her.
She is really short.
We thought you meant height-wise.
I think she's
I was like,
average
what's wrong with being short?
size.
Dax? I'm 5'2".
Nothing.
What's up?
I like short girls, so nothing.
That's your type.
That is my type.
There we go. We got around to it.
I think it's pretty obvious from the track record. Yeah, so you get invited to join her on
Yeah.
this very important trip to London, and you're the lowest person. And then when you get to the airport, these bitchy bitches, they tell you you're not even on this flight. You're flying
Yeah.
out in 3 hours. You came here to check the bags.
Yeah, to move things, to hold things.
And then the woman behind the counter has observed all this. And she's like, I only deal with assholes a couple times a day. And it seems like you were stuck with assholes. I'm going to upgrade you to first class.
Yeah.
And then your mom was there.
And then I meet Giselle Mendes.
If ever there was a time to get your mom as a stunt casting.
That would have been perfect.
She's using all the amenities. She gets a massage. She's luxuriating.
In classic rom-com fashion.
Meet cute.
Slams into.
Spills her drink all over her Bloody
Yeah.
Mary, all over the jeans of
Will.
He's a Brit. Is he a Brit in real life?
He is a Brit in real life.
Archie Renault.
Yeah.
Bumps into him. He's charming. And then, of course, they're sitting next to each other on the airplane.
And conversation strikes.
Of course.
Two cute people flirting it up in first
Yeah.
class.
They're too hot not to like each other. It would be impossible. Who could resist? But then you get there, and of course, she takes on this fake identity as someone who flies first class, and she starts
Yeah.
pretending she's her boss.
But she's like, belongs there.
Yeah, it's a little bit talented, Mr. Ripley.
Yeah.
Little bit Pretty Woman.
And then he asks her why she's going to London. And she's like, oh, you know, they called in the director of the New York office to save the day. And he assumes that I'm the director of the New York office. And I just go with it.
Sure.
Because I'm like, why not? We're on a plane. I can lie to you on a plane.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm never going to see you again.
Vancouver, the Slutton.
Cut two.
Yes, and then you meet the mom, and the mom is very, very inviting. She
Yeah.
wants your number. They're loaded.
She's trying to set it up. She's an art collector, and she's coincidentally selling her art with not Sotheby's, I like to say Sotheby's, but Irwin's, which is our Sotheby's. And then she's like, you work there? How crazy. You're the director? You should be in charge of my auction.
Oh, shit.
So then I have to go along with this double life where I'm an intern for the actual director and then also pretending to be the director.
And falling in love with Renault.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's right up
I
your
like
alley.
that. I know I love a
Monica.
rom-com. I didn't watch it because I
have a
don't.
policy.
We do have a policy. I don't try to watch the thing because sometimes if I do, then it gets very esoteric and I can't see what an audience who hasn't seen it should not know.
It just happened to us this week.
It did,
no.
because I did watch Fargo, and now I'm
When we
all-
interviewed Noah Hawley, she hadn't, so she had a good idea of
Yeah.
what he and I were geeking out too much. And then for the next two people, she had seen it.
Yeah,
Now we
so
don't
it's
know.
like a problem.
Yeah, I see it. It's all good.
But I
Have
am
you-
really
have you-
excited.
You would love it.
I
you
know.
would
I
love.
love a rom-com
I like
so
to,
much.
and I'm not just saying this because I'm biased and I was in it, and obviously I'm going to promote my movie, but genuinely, I just think it feels more elevated than most rom-coms. I don't always watch rom-coms, especially modern rom-coms. I think it's really hard to achieve these days.
You're right.
With the same magic that they used to have.
100%.
What is your explanation of that?
I think, I shouldn't say this because technically I didn't have this with Archie, but they used to chemistry test people more. I feel like they used to actually make sure that their two lead actors had real chemistry,
Some
and I just
sparks.
don't think they're doing it like that anymore. They're doing it over Zoom.
Right, and they're plucking two people with a certain social media footprint.
Thank God I had chemistry with Archie, but we didn't get to test that out. We got lucky, but oftentimes these days they're just offering one actor this role and another actor this role. I'm like, all right, you meet like a few days before you start filming. That's how it was for me and Rudy on Musica, on the other
Because
project.
you met there?
Yeah, that's how we met.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Her boyfriend wrote and directed it.
Yeah, and stars in it. He plays himself. It's autobiographical.
And you had not learned your lesson on Riverdale, and you're like, yes, this is a great idea.
I really thought I had.
Let's up
But
the
I'm like, no,
ante.
this is different because
Let's
it's a
bang
movie.
the writer and the director and the star.
I'm like, it's a movie. Like, if it doesn't work out.
Temporary.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, same thing. We didn't have a chemistry read, but we did meet several times on Zoom and I could tell that there was chemistry there. But it's literally you meet and then you start filming. And
Yeah.
I think back in the day, they placed more importance on that.
That's a really good explanation. I have a sadder one.
Okay.
Because I love rom-coms, so I hate this. I don't think we can make rom-coms in the same way. Because now when you rewatch, they're problematic. It's often...
Yeah.
Stalkery.
Exactly. There's like stalkery stuff, or women are often chasing men.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up.
No, it's true.
Conceptually.
One of my favorites is He's Just Not That Into You. And when I look back on it, I'm like, it's just a series of guys being like, look, this guy's just not interested in you. Get over it. We're men.
Now we can't unsee it.
Yeah.
If you
Oh my
make
God.
it, everyone will be like, what?
Yeah. They had an excuse. You don't have an excuse.
Yeah.
You're fucking the most quintessential cinematic moment. Say anything. He's holding a jam box. She won't talk to him, but he's outside of her house playing In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. And yeah, he picked the perfect song. But she has said no. No.
Yeah.
It's true.
I feel terrible for the modern generation.
We're better off.
They just need good banter and
Exactly.
good chemistry and genuinely funny writing, not rom-com funny writing.
Exactly. It can happen. It just requires a lot more of the writer.
Yeah. I was also an EP on Upgraded. So I helped develop the script and it's so different from where it started. I mean, it had such good structure, but I think the dialogue was missing a lot of good quippy banter and it didn't feel like the way people flirt, especially nowadays. So me and my producing partner brought on her brother and his writing partner. These two guys you would never think would write a rom-com and don't write rom-coms. We're like, make this funny. Make it feel like actually comedic. And I think it needed a different lens. So it didn't just fall into that same mold of rom-com that we see today.
Here's the problem, though. So we all now know negging.
Negging?
Do you know negging?
What's negging?
So this
Under 30s don't
douchey-
know negging.
This douchey guy wrote a book about how to fuck girls. It had a classier title than that, but marginally classier. And his strategy is like you insult a pretty girl and make her insecure and then she'll like you. It's vomitous, right? And that's called negging. And so it's vomitous and we don't like it. But at the same time, negging is very fun when both people like each other. When you actually are in the real world, that is actually quite fun.
Totally.
Like, when it's not sadistic. So you're also balancing these two things where it's like a lot of these things are bad in some way, and yet they're also quite fine and people enjoy them and both people are consensual. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear what you're saying. It's playful.
Teasing,
it's
each,
teasing
other.
each other.
Like, what's the
Yeah.
line between negging and teasing?
Well, there is a line because negging is insulting to make
Yeah.
that person feel insecure.
It,
It's
like,
bad.
beneath them or something.
Exactly.
I have not met Liv Tyler. I'm doing a movie with Liv Tyler. I also was
amazing.
like in love with her as a kid. And we haven't met. And I pull into a parking spot for our first rehearsal. And I'm driving a 1966 AC Cobra. It's the loudest, most obnoxious, coolest car ever made. And I pull up. It's got side pipes. I park. I'm feeling quite cool. And she goes, "Don't get enough attention as an actor, huh?" And I was like, "Oh, damn." Ooh, that
love
cut to
that.
the quick.
I love that
But it was
too.
great.
Yeah.
She's like immediately making fun of me.
I
and
like when people call me out on my shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a way, that's negging, I guess. You're like, shit.
But by the way, in Brazilian culture, that's
Standard.
how people connect.
That's why Anna's my favorite person to talk to. I can say anything.
Always
Yeah.
poking at each other, teasing each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Monica?
Oh, I mean, I'm going to say something again you won't like. It's kind of okay because she did it. If you did it, it
Right.
wouldn't have felt the same. It wouldn't have
Yeah,
been like,
true.
why are you
That's
talking to
very
her
true.
like that?
My
Men
immediate
have
response-
power, we know this.
What if he said it? It's all about tone too, right?
Of course.
Yes.
if you have a crush on someone and they're singing in a playful way, you're like, oh my God, stop, shut up.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
I think it could work.
That's where
100%. It's nuanced.
Yeah.
we're kind of trapped in this transitional phase where it's like we just need to more clearly articulate what's going on. Because, like, yes, teasing we like. Having read a book of how to fuck hot chicks by shitting on them is like, ooh,
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's rough. Because I want that in a rom-com.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want that.
Playful, teasing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
It works.
Yeah.
It does work, and it should. If you feel like everyone's equals, then it doesn't matter. That's a big
We figured
part
it
of
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a gift we just gave everyone.
That's the key. I feel like we try to do a lot of that teasing and the dialogue.
That's what made
between
me
the
think of
characters.
it. I was aware of like, well, some of this is nagging on his part.
Totally. Like
by
making fun of
definition.
her being American. There are little things like that where they're making fun of each other's
Which is
isms.
really how
I
you
like
do
that.
flirt.
Yeah.
It is.
Or how I do.
Because there's something about it that's like, I see you.
Yeah.
You feel seen when someone makes fun of you for something. You're like, oh, you're paying attention.
Exactly.
I feel special.
Totally. That's really true.
What's your favorite rom-com?
I love the breakup.
Oh, Jen Ann and Vince Vaughn.
That's a quality movie.
That's
I don't
such
you
a
can't even
movie.
call that a rom-com.
Is it not?
Sad.
It's like an inverted
post-
rom-com.
Okay, I love Along Came Polly.
Oh, I loved that.
I guess I love Jen Aniston, honestly.
Jen Ann, this is so embarrassing. I sent her like a desperado DM.
Really?
Yesterday.
To get her on the show?
Yes.
She'll do it. No,
She won't do it. She won't do
Oh.
it. I mean, I'm not ruling her out, but I
Yeah.
was just like,
I love Jen Ann. And How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is also a great one. That's a classic. Everyone loves that one.
It's hard not to love that
Yeah.
one. I love Andrew Schultz so much.
The best.
I'm so delighted he's in your movie. And then
happy we
because
got
I
him.
discovered him on Instagram. Not like I discovered. I personally didn't know about him. I found him on Instagram. I follow him. I think every single clip is hysterical. I've been
Yeah.
DMing him, and now I've got like this friendship brewing. There's always this great question when you see a stand-up act: are they going to be terrible or great? And he's phenomenal.
He's so good.
Oh
No, he
my-
makes that role. He adds another layer of comedy to our movie that just gives it more flavor.
Yeah, I'm curious how much was on the page and how much was he riffing?
A lot of it was on the page, but
Yeah.
he would add his own.
Spin.
Yeah, I don't want to misspeak. I'm pretty sure the Rocky Balboa stuff was him.
He gives you a speech and it's from Rocky.
Yeah, but it's like the way he says things that was
Yes.
not on the page. I wish there was more of him in the movie, honestly.
I know. It's a really funny dynamic. She's living with her sister and her sister's husband, who is Schultz. They're in an apartment that's they've
Like a
inherited
tiny New York
three.
apartment.
The grandma lived and died there, and the mom did. It's rent control. It's one bedroom. He wants a dog really bad. He wants her to join the Navy. He's
Yeah.
trying to get her to join the Navy.
Move back to Florida.
He really wants her to move to Florida and join the
I
Navy.
love that opening scene so much.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
I'm delighted. Okay, let's do a couple minutes on Musica because that's also coming out this year.
Yes.
And as we just learned, your boyfriend, Mancuso?
Rudy Mancuso. Mancuso.
Mancuso, Rudy Mancuso.
oh yeah, that's the Italian
Yeah.
part.
Ah, Mancuso. Here we go. Bikini. Am I understanding this correctly? Because this might interest you and Rudy, Mancuso,
Mancuso.
that Mary Steenburgen, I don't remember the exact event that led to this, but there was some medical thing where when she was post that, she had never been interested in music, never pursued it. And she came out of this situation and she hears music nonstop in her head. And she ended up starting a career in, I'm guessing, her 50s. She writes songs in Nashville. She's had many songs written. Do you know this about Mary?
I had no idea.
Are you saying she has synesthesia?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It is about that actual condition.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with synesthesia because Rudy has synesthesia.
Explain
does?
Yeah.
synesthesia to us.
It's like a tripping up of your sensory wires. So there's different forms of it. His is called rhythmic association. So his is more about organizing daily diegetic sound into rhythm, almost in like a compulsive way. But then there are people that are synesthetic, like Billie Eilish. I know John Mayer is synesthetic.
Oh really?
Yeah, there are a ton of musicians that are synesthetic, and a lot of them can hear a sound and see a color, or
Yeah, I've
it's things
heard
like
that.
that. It's just your sensory wires
You
getting tripped up.
hear a color.
And you see a sound.
Yeah, or you can taste Tuesday.
Oh.
Oh, I'm dying to taste Tuesday.
I like to describe it sometimes as like, sometimes if you say the word lime or lemon or you think of it, you can start to feel your jaw. There's certain
React to the
words
tartness.
and sounds that have associations with other senses, so they're connected.
Or
had
plethora, you
this.
get queasy immediately.
Oh, you do?
You do?
Plethora.
Let's
you know what
unpack
I
that.
Oh,
Dax.
you just don't like that word.
Carrie and I were determined in high school that the real definition of plethora should be wet fart.
Oh.
Right? Like, oh my God, I think I plethora'd. It's so gross. The word is so gross.
You think it's a
Plethora.
shark.
plethora. I guess a sharp, but even worse.
Plethora sounds like it would be near the uterus to me.
Yeah,
Oh.
like placenta.
Yeah.
Part of the
plethora.
reproductive system.
Yeah.
Placenta, plethora.
Plethora.
I bet the fart thing is because it sounds very breathy. It's a plethora. It's a plethora.
It's a pervy word. Plethora. I could make her gag by saying plethora.
Oh, wow.
Oh, fuck. Did someone plethora?
I think that was one of like the first words that I thought was a big vocabulary word.
I think a lot of people thought
So I used
that.
it a lot.
In essays. Oh, that was
Yes.
such an essay word.
Yes. So embarrassing.
The spelling's gross, too. I don't like how it looks.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people have this with
Synesthesia.
moist.
I don't mind moist.
I don't either. And I've made it even worse and
Why?
grosser. I say moise.
Moist?
Just to really push into what I think people hate about it. I think it's the
Moist.
moise part of moist that they hate. So I just say, well, this is very moist.
Moist.
I think I have synesthesia. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I have a weird thing where
You get horny when boys puke?
Is that a thing?
no. Stop! That's not. You made it. You just
She's been so honest. You owe her that.
I'm going to tell her a different thing about me, which is when I was in school, I did get a weird, like, tingly feeling. Not sexual, I don't think.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
When a teacher would say a color, if they said, like, get your blue folder, I really enjoyed when they would say the color.
Okay.
It, like, did something weird to my body.
Sensory.
Interesting.
And then I would ask my friends, like, do
Anyone
you,
else
like,
get
have... Yeah.
PQs when he says orange?
They're all like looking at you.
Orange was
Like, I
one.
just liked that.
Yeah.
It's mainly a teacher's.
When you're done with your
Something about
test,
being
I brought a
instructed.
bag of oranges. If he was referring to the fruit, would that have messed it up or you
Yeah.
still enjoyed it?
Nope, color.
Color. Okay. Ooh, here's a gross word about color. This is as bad as plethora. Puce.
What's puce?
Puce
color.
is a color.
That's
yeah.
not a color.
Puce.
Puce.
Ooh, puce.
It's kind of an...
Puce?
It's kind of
puce.
an
Did someone plethora?
onomatopoeia. It looks like it sounds. It's like a greenish, right?
How do you spell it?
Puce. Did someone plethora?
P-U-C-E.
Puce.
I think it's like a green.
Pink.
Oh, it's a pink?
Yeah, it
Oh,
means
that's-
flea color.
Flea.
It just gets worse.
Puke color.
P-U-C.
Puce.
Puce.
Oh, it's pretty. It's very pretty.
Oh my God.
Sounds like it
is
thinks
gorgeous.
it's better than you. You know, like puce.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
Yeah.
Have you met my friend
Snobby.
Camila? Oh, puce.
puce.
No, she never pletheras. That's not. I'm thinking of someone else. I'm thinking of Camila Cabello.
She would never plethora.
Do you know Camila Cabello?
I've met her. I don't know her well.
Is that the bane of your existence?
John Mayer made a little joke of a song once where he just sang my name and Camila Cabello's name and Shawn Mendes' name back to back.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's-
bet some people
It was really
think you are Camila Cabello and that you've married Shawn
Yeah,
Mendes.
they definitely think that, especially early days. Now, not so much, but I get tagged in things of Camila Cabello all the time.
Oh my gosh, what a luxury.
Yeah.
I don't get tagged in anything. I'd love to be on your TikTok though. When you guys hit 13 mil.
Come on over.
Back to Musica.
Yeah.
So he has synesthesia.
Yeah,
I love
synesthesia.
learning that.
Synesthesia.
Seizure?
Synesthesia.
Monica has seizures.
Synesthesia.
Maybe they're connected somehow.
Yeah, maybe it's the
puking and-
colors.
Not the, don't say that again.
Stop talking about that.
Synesthesia.
Okay.
TH.
Okay. So he has written and directed this. He actually has it. He's enormously talented.
Very.
He has an enormous YouTube following. He has
Yeah.
an enormous everything. He directs a
Yeah.
ton of commercials. He's a baller.
I'm really excited for him. This is his first film. And I know that being a filmmaker has been his dream since he was 11 years old in Newark, New Jersey. And his route to get there was Vine and then YouTube.
He's a hustler. That's
He's
what
a
I like.
hustler.
Hustlers are sexy.
And this just feels so earned for him and this journey that he's been on. I think the internet personality world is very much judged. I think people look down on it. But when you see the stuff that he's done, he's so brilliant. It's like just the beginning of his career.
I had a revolution on this because, yeah, initially I was like, that person's a YouTube star. Like, of course, I had to stick up my ass about it.
But by the way, so did I.
Okay, good. That's
Yeah.
comforting. It is, because you're young. I chalked it up to that I'm old, like your mom. But I started thinking about it. I was like, when I came here, I didn't have an agent, as we talked about.
Yeah.
My favorite part of being at the Groundlings is I got to make video shorts. And I couldn't get my foot in the door. And I had so much passion and energy to create. And if I had had an outlet, I'm like, why am I hung up on this? It's been democratized. Nothing
Yeah.
stands in your way. And if you pop in the sea of 100 million fucking contributors, what an accomplishment.
He always talks about how he heard what Vine was. He's like, wow, telling a story in 6 seconds, that's fascinating. He was inspired and challenged and excited by it.
Right.
And that's what got him into it. And what I find so interesting is I had that judgment in the beginning of, okay, who wants me to be in their movie? Who is this guy? He did what? I don't know. I mean, I'll meet with him. He's Brazilian. I definitely want to meet another Brazilian in the industry, but I'm probably going to pass. And that's my own insecurity because I'm coming from like a teen show. I got to be so careful about who I work with and what I do, and I don't want to be judged. Then I met him. Complete 180. In the first 5 minutes of us meeting, I was like, I'm doing this.
Well, yes, if someone succeeds in any category or silo, what you have to acknowledge is they have something clearly.
Yeah.
Whether it was on a network show or a streaming show or a movie or YouTube or Instagram, they have a charisma clearly.
It's also not like he was a vlogger. Not that I judge that either, but he was making skits and telling stories. He was a creator, and who is anyone to judge the medium that you're creating in if you're doing it successfully and people are enjoying it?
When you started dating, did you have a hiccup of like, I'm going to have to tell people he's
No.
good?
Because also when I started working with him, I mean, it's so hot when you see someone, he's so good at directing. I'm like, this is your first time doing this? But it's not technically, right? I'm like, you've been creating for
he's
like a
edited
decade.
for a decade?
Yeah, he edits all his own stuff. He's like so tuned in to what he wants that watching him lead an Amazon movie with a decent budget and know exactly what he wants and hold his own and not feel like a first-time filmmaker. Because I've worked with a ton and they're not like that.
Well, he's not a first-time filmmaker.
Yeah.
He's a first-time this-length filmmaker. Okay, so Upgraded comes out February 9th. Valentine's Day. Ding, ding, ding. Also our 6-year anniversary.
Yes. Valentine's Day is your 6-year
We
anniversary.
came out on Valentine's Day 6 years ago.
That's amazing.
When does Musica come out?
I don't know if there's an exact date on it yet.
Okay, TBD.
I think it's April.
Well,
Spring.
you know, this spring starts sniffing around.
April 4th.
April 4th.
It was announced.
I thought so,
Scheduled to be released.
but I wasn't sure if that was official or not, or if that's just the talk of the town.
Right. Also,
But-
April showers bring May flowers.
They do bring me flowers.
Will you look and see if they bring May flowers?
Yeah, Rob, does it say whether or not April showers bring May flowers?
They do. They do.
They do, they do. Are you guys going to fact check that?
Puce, vermilion,
Speaking
plethora.
of, that candle is puce.
Is it really?
The color.
It is. That's
That
exactly
A24
the
candle?
color. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
This has been a blast. We're 2 for 2 for Riverdale cast
know, you
members
guys
because I
are
really
nailing
liked
it.
Lily a lot too.
Lily's the best. She's so real.
Yeah.
I admire
know.
her so much for that.
Ohio.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
It was.
I know, I didn't realize how long ago that was.
Yeah, time is a lion.
She doesn't give a fuck. She'll say what she thinks and what she feels. She's so honest. I need to learn how to be like that more. I take that from her.
It's funny you think you're going to pay some big price for it and you don't.
That's really true.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed this. I hope you
I
had
really
as much
enjoyed
fun
it.
as
I did. This was so easy.
Very
Okay,
fun.
wonderful.
I don't feel like I've said anything I regret. Not yet, at least.
Well, that's because you refused to say the thing we said we'd cut out, and I'm furious. But Upgraded, February 9th. Musica, TBD.
April 4th.
April.
When those showers that
4th.
come, start looking for them Mayflowers in this movie. All right, love you.
Bye.
Stick around for the fact check. Because they're human, they make lots of mistakes.
Oh, should we start with the heartbreaking news?
Sure.
I don't know that I've ever been as, felt a punch to my gut as much reading about someone from another country that I don't know anything about dying.
It's awful. Yeah.
Navalny. God, is that
It's
fucking brutal.
It's so bad.
And his sweet family that was in the dock.
Yeah.
Oh, what a sacrifice.
It is
The
very,
only thing I
very
could hope is
fucked
that
up.
somehow maybe he'll start his wish, which is maybe he'll be the great martyr there that'll challenge that. I mean,
Maybe.
he's so not other. He's so us for them. He's not a Ukrainian. He's not, from the Crimea Peninsula. He's them.
Yeah. It's really sad.
Oh, God. All right, I shouldn't have started with that. Let's start with something that I've seen in the comments quite a bit, and I actually am nervous we have to address this, which is you called a conference I went to the Illuminati, but you were joking. I'm not in the Illuminati. I don't think the Illuminati's real. This was a conference of professors, some prime ministers, and a bunch of academics getting together to talk about world events and if they could collectively help. That's what it was.
Yes. It's
Yeah,
not real.
It's not real. Yeah, and some people are truly shook by that.
Oh, wow.
You just brushed it under the rug, Dax. Is Dax a member of the Illuminati?
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah. And
No, you're not.
I'm not.
Do we think it's
Although-
real?
No, I don't think the Illuminati's real. Do you?
I don't know. I like secret societies, so I'd be okay with it being real.
Well, so let's like really dig into what we mean by Illuminati. There's think tanks, the Rand Group. There's all these like really well-funded think tanks that do write policy for DC.
Right.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
There also might be a group of people that think they're the Illuminati.
Sure.
Right? Like, I don't know, when they go to these G20 summits, I don't know if 8 of them get together and think that. But the core conspiracy behind the Illuminati, do I think a very select few individuals are running planet Earth? I do not.
Oh, yeah, no. I don't think that either.
Yeah.
But I think there could be like a group of people who get together and discuss things and work together to get things done. Not like they have like absolute power, but...
Yeah, I would just call those people like lobby groups, right? Like if you're a restaurant owner, you join the fucking Better Business Bureau or whatever thing's going to represent you in DC. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, there's lots of collectives of like-minded people with like interests.
Yeah.
Or shared interests that definitely combine resources to try to get things pushed along.
I guess it's sort of a ding, ding, ding to what we were just talking about Russia.
Yes. Now, do I think Russia has one person that pretty much controls everything? I do.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I don't think so. But if there is like a fun group of people who are like Rihanna and she's supposed to be in it.
I guess that's the thing too. If there was an Illuminati, they would not invite me. Like, I have a history of talking too much out loud in public.
That's true.
Even about my own dirty laundry.
You're a bit of a blabbermouth.
I'm a blabbermouth who has to fill up 6 hours a week on the radio. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't invite me.
They wouldn't be smart to for that reason. But also, you're good at keeping secrets if you need to keep a secret.
If it's life or death, sure. For a friend, but not strangers.
I feel like it would be life or death because that's part of it. They have power. Uh-huh. They kill.
Yeah. As you may recall, I read that book, Behold the Pale Horse, in high school. And for about 90 days, I was believing in the Illuminati.
You were?
Yeah, like trying to.
Okay.
It's a very, very fun, fantastical fantasy that there's the Knights Templar. Yes. And they've been guarding the Shroud of Turin. And they've always been the sergeant of arms of these powerful groups. Yeah. And then you look at how many presidents were Masons. All these suspicious corollaries.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. Skull and Key. Is there a Skull and Bones?
Ooh. I think it's called Skull and Bones.
Wobby Wob?
Yeah, wasn't that what the... Well, are you thinking of the movie, The Skull?
No, the movie is The Skulls, but I think the actual thing is called Skull and Bones.
I think it's the Skull and Key.
Skull and Bones, also known as the Order 322, or the Brotherhood of Death. Oh. It's an undergraduate senior secret student society at Yale.
Oh. Do
Skull and Key?
Yeah. Is it Scrolling Key? Key's not ringing a bell for you.
Key sounds kind of familiar. I don't remember why, but...
Skull and Keys is a men's honor society at University of California, Berkeley.
Oh. Ooh, that feels like...
West Coast. A little weak.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It doesn't have the history.
West Coast isn't good at the secret societies. They just bit off of Yale.
Although, how about this? I don't really believe this, but just for fun of making an argument.
Yeah.
They're all over there sniffing each other's farts in this paneled room. No one can get in. Comic book fucking whatever fantasy. Oppenheimer's learning how to blow up the planet.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Impact, I don't know. We could argue what's happening at Berkeley was much more.
Scroll and Key is also...
There we go.
Won 1842 at Yale also.
Scroll
and
It's one of the oldest Yale secret societies and reportedly the wealthiest.
Oh.
I think that's the one...
You're talking about?
Yeah, that we're thinking of when we say Skull and Bone.
No, that's also...
No, Yale has...
Yeah, definitely has Skull and Bone. But I think the presidents and stuff weren't members of Skull and Bone. I think they were members of Scroll and Key.
And there's also Wolf's Head.
Oh.
Those are the 3 at Yale.
I don't know.
Harvard has 4, I think, right?
This says they don't.
What? Yes, they do.
They're just so good at keeping
Wow.
secrets. No, because Mike Schur was in one of them, right? What was the one
he was in?
Lampoons.
Yeah, he was in National Lampoons.
But that has a secret room that no one can go in unless they're a member, right?
Oh, probably.
I think he was saying.
They have social clubs for sure. That's what What's It Called was all about.
Yeah, friendship
social
circle.
network.
Not secret though. If you want
But you
social
have-
clubs,
yeah.
they've got Spree Club, Owl Club,
No.
Porcelain Club, AD Club,
God, these do not sound intimidating.
This is
Social
not
Club,
Oh no, the Owl Club's coming.
the Fly Club,
Don't worry, we'll call the
Secret.
Ceramics Club.
Fox Club, the Hasty Pudding
Hasty
Club.
Pudding
yeah.
is
Artisty.
Yeah, and it's comedy, and they do sketches and stuff. Actually, my friend Maddie,
Is it pudding?
I don't think she's a pudding, but
she's hasty.
She's definitely hasty, and she's written like a sketch or something for them, and they just had a big anniversary for Hasty Pudding last month or something, and Barry Keoghan was honored there. Final
Oh, sorry, real
clubs.
quick to interrupt. Do you think it was a typo and it was really Tasty Puddings?
Yeah,
Okay, that just makes more sense.
they're called final clubs.
Oh,
Remember from Social Network? That was the
Yeah.
whole. He couldn't get in.
yeah, and he was angry, so he created
Yeah.
the social network.
I feel like the internet's erased it.
You think they're that much better at keeping their secrets? Did Maddie go to Harvard?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm sorry. Did Maddie go to school in Boston?
She did. It was funny.
Maddie's a girl.
Yeah, Maddie's a girl.
Okay.
Yeah, Maddie is the writer. She wrote the article on me for Vanity Fair,
Yes, okay.
and she also wrote a beautiful piece about Sica.
Oh, she did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we so like Salika.
Big time.
Yeah.
When we were at the advertising dinner, there was a woman sitting across from us and her husband.
Uh-huh.
They said they went to school
In Boston.
And I said, so you went to Harvard?
Yeah.
And she was like, he did. And she went to Dartmouth.
Okay.
But it was funny. And he was like, I didn't say it. I wasn't the one.
They can't win.
I know. They can't
Don't
win.
go to Harvard. I mean, if there's anything
No,
to learn
do
from this,
go,
don't
do
go. They've got no
go.
secret societies.
They
And
have
then
the
you-
secretest secret societies. You should definitely go.
And then you'll never be able to say where you went to school. When people go, did you go to college? They have to say, no, I didn't.
Ooh, that's kind of a cool flex. It's like, no, I didn't.
I didn't go to school. Why?
Why do you have a problem with that?
You got a fucking problem with that?
And then you do the speech that Matt Damon did in Good Will Hunting where he's like schooling that guy.
And then you pull out an LSAT and go, you want to challenge me to the LSAT even though I didn't go to
So
college?
you just pull out the book
Yeah.
of the test, the standardized test. Well, I'm getting some intel.
Okay, great. While you wait for that intel, I feel like I've cleared up the Illuminati thing.
Okay, I hope people believe you
Because people are nuts about that. I don't want people thinking
I know,
I'm
that's
actually,
crazy.
yeah.
But also,
I
people.
don't need to end up on all these lists.
But if people listen to the last fact check about Monica's mom and the CIA, they're going to think that you're doing exactly what
I know, which is lie. Just to, I know it's complex.
It's like not being able to say you went to Harvard.
Okay, actually, so these are right. These are right. What Rob read.
Okay.
The Porcelain Club, the Spee, the Fox, the Delphic, the Phoenix, the Fly, and the AD.
Those are
some
male.
some are female now. She says some are co-ed,
Oh, good.
and then there are some all-female ones as well. Okay, so no Illuminati, which we like.
No to Illuminati.
But I also
Vote with your pocketbook.
if there is an Illuminati, I don't want to take myself out of the running for it. So I'm not here to dismiss it.
So you would want to be a member of the Illuminati?
Of course.
Okay.
If they'll have me,
Why? Yeah, it'd be a feather in their cap to have you.
well, that would be nice. But I blab too a lot.
Yeah.
Probably more than you.
You and Liz will get going on something, and then
Well, me and you, me and her, me and David, we all talk.
right.
We all talk.
David in particular, he's like sniffing around everything. He's a journalist. If he gets winded that you're in the Illuminati, he'll be on that like a dog on a bone.
Be a webworm about it really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck. Who do you think? Okay, well, we shouldn't play this game, but I want to play it.
Okay, great. Let's play it.
If we could make our own Illuminati
Yeah.
of 10 members, or let's make it 7.
Oh, that sounds arbitrary. 7.
Well, because 10 felt like we might take too long.
And we're not counting us two as.
Yeah, we're going to remove ourselves. 7 people who we would be happy with to like have some sort of structure that's like
Yeah.
in charge.
I'm going to throw out a couple names that I believe you'll agree with. I'll start with who I think you'll co-sign on.
Okay.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
He's the most informed on every single topic in the world.
The reason I know this is a bad game is because people are like, he is. He already is.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I can't help those people.
We can't. Okay, so Bill.
Bill, David Sedaris.
Oh, okay.
1,000% we need his point of view
Oh, yeah.
to check us and be sarcastic at all times.
For sure, but like for rulemaking and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We need diversity of opinion.
I agree.
And uber intelligence. And we need to laugh a bit because the world's a funny and tragic place.
It is.
We need David.
Okay.
John Batiste.
Oh, wow.
You're worried I'm chalking it full of artists, but don't worry.
You're also just putting your favorite people, which, okay.
These are people I think these are people whose souls I trust to run the world.
I think John is an angel, and he's dropped down to change us via music.
Okay, so
but to be in that.
That's a great point. But I'll make an argument for why he should stay.
Okay.
He could bring out the best in us by playing piano while we debate these things.
Oh.
He could take us on spiritual and emotional journeys. And it could turn out that he really 2x'd our output and our clarity by the impact he had on our bodies while we did our thinking and debating.
Okay, so he's going to play for us while we debate.
Well, he is going to respond to the debate he's hearing in the way he knows how.
Right,
and he'll have a
musically.
clarity. Like, that is a genius I think he has. Is like,
for sure.
He could hear an emotion that's in the room, and then he has a clarity to transmit that through sound.
I agree with that.
And then we might all then be able to lock on to that clarity of emotion.
Okay.
It could help us in the same way that Charles Duhigg, he would tell us which of the three conversations we're actually having.
I see.
So
okay, I like it.
Okay, he could be really instrumental, pun intended, to
The outcome.
the outcome. So
Okay, I'm back. I'm with you.
Okay, so you give me 3, and then we'll maybe hish hash about a
Okay,
seventh.
I like those. I like those 3. I'm gonna add. Can we have ghosts or
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I won't add Taylor, but I want to. But I'm not gonna.
Okay.
But I want to.
I know.
Because
you just want a friend in the
No,
group.
no. Because she's the most powerful person in the United States right now. I believe that.
Okay.
But she's busy, and I also don't think she'll be able to commit.
Right.
So I'm gonna pick Tina Fey.
Okay.
I'm adding Tina
Great.
to the list.
She's in the Sedaris kind of same.
No, she's not there to make us laugh. She's so brilliant, but she's doing more and more behind. Like, she's not being very vocal, but she has a ton of very smart, interesting opinions. So in our group, she could share what needs to be done and how, but without being forward facing.
You know why she's a good pick is she has proven that she can be productive in a shared space with other writers.
That's also true.
You know, some of these folks are going to be hard. Like, Elon Musk has a brilliance, no question. Like, if we need someone who's designing the future, he's the obvious heir apparent, but I don't think he works in a group, right?
But he's
you
also,
can't really.
we can't have anyone so rogue. Like, the people we're picking have to be like,
Cooperative.
yeah, and a little more centered.
Well, that's my point, is I don't think he's a great sharing all these responsibilities. But I do, and this is where we might differ. There might be a lot of fights about this. I'm not going to be picking people because I agree with them or politically I'm in line with them. Like, I'm going to try to pick people who actually know an enormous sector of how the world works, and they need to be on it. You know?
I get that.
Because, like, it's getting real pragmatic. The 10 of us are going to run the world. Like, someone has to know how to clean sanitation. Yes, and how banking systems work.
No. I mean, they mainly need to know who to appoint. That, to me, is the job of the president, which is, I guess, our job now as the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Is to know who to pick to head up things. So you personally don't have to have all the knowledge on sanitation.
Right.
But you have to know who does and who will run it in a way that is in keeping with how we want the world run.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think I want to put any sanitation people in right now. It's limited space.
No, but again, back to Bill. Why I like Bill is he has a complete understanding of that global health situation.
Yeah.
What's killing us at the greatest numbers.
Yes.
He's worked with all the experts in that. He knows how to deal with one of the biggest problems, which is clean water and sanitation. Energy is another thing, and he's got that locked down. He understands global warming better than anyone. Like, he's got a big old understanding of most of the columns.
I guess we should put Yuval in.
Great. I sign off in a second on that.
But we need some more women.
Okay. We've got 2.
We have Tina and me.
Yeah. We
We
need more.
need the rest to be
Okay.
women. If we could do, is Griselda alive?
She's. I don't think she's with us anymore. Yeah. That would be a good pick, though.
Yeah.
Like someone who knows how to fucking get shit done.
Like a Martha Stewart.
I think she might be. Yeah, Oprah's a good one. Marty is probably not good because I think she's probably going to be gun shy after her time in jail.
I'm trying to remember the woman. Her specialty wasn't crows, but she told us a lot about crows because her husband was into crows.
Lenore Skenazy.
Yes, she was incredible. I found her to be very impressive. Good memory. Lenore Skenazy.
I liked Wu Young
On. That's who you're thinking, right?
Kyung on.
Oh, she was great. All the hiccups and thinking.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a good one. All right. Well, I think
might need to come
we've slowed
back
down
to
so much
it.
that I think people might be getting a little
We might need
impatient.
We might. Okay, we're not
We're
done
going to circle
yet.
back, but we have some we like. We have some
Yeah.
contenders.
Yeah.
We should send people this letter. Go like, congratulations. You've been selected to
Yes.
be a member of the 10-person Illuminati.
Exactly.
I would imagine if they were worth their salt, their very first order of business would be to kick the 3 of us out of it.
I mean, of course. Of course.
It's also very American. We've assembled a very American Illuminati.
That's true. But we don't know a lot.
No. But clearly we got to get we got to get someone from India, someone
Fine,
from
why
China.
don't we?
and
This
someone
is an
from Europe.
American sector.
Does that mean Yuval has to
Branch.
leave?
He's a citizen of the world, Rob.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is for Camila Mendes.
So much fun.
So much fun. So, how much money did the Modern Family cast make? The adult cast members by the last season were making $500,000
Per episode. But to remind people, the big showdown wasn't about the per episode salary. It was they all united and didn't show up to work to get points. And that ended up in court. That actually got litigated, I think. So they all have ownership over that syndication money.
Yeah, which is huge. I thought it was interesting when we were talking about how Americans view family versus other cultures.
The Brazilians.
And just a lot of other cultures. She's Brazilian, but it's definitely translates to India. And Anna and I have talked a lot about it too. I mean, she's from Venezuela. So there's an article about how Americans view family. And this breaks it down into 2 tenets. One, that Americans are typically pretty individualistic.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even the notion of boundaries is so individualistic.
It is.
I have a boundary around me. I'm an individual thing.
And yeah, it affects where families choose to live. Many families will choose a location that provides the best career opportunities, even if this means they must live far away from their extended family.
Yeah, like I think I love my family very high on the scale.
Yeah.
And I got the fuck out of there. Like wasn't even something I had to debate. Like,
Right.
am I breaking anyone's heart by moving 3,000 miles away?
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it. Like, no, I clearly have an obligation to go pursue this. That's that.
Right. I know. It is so different.
And if they love me as my family, that's exactly what they would want for me.
But it also it's ironic because these other cultures, or I guess I'll just speak for Indian cultures, it's so family based.
Yeah.
But also people leave the country. Mm-hmm. And then they never really, barely ever see them again.
Am I wrong? I know this is certainly how it works with a lot of the migrant workforce that comes up from Mexico. They do send a couple solely to send money back to the family. Like, ultimately, it really is about the family. It's not about them starting a new life in America. In fact, I remember Bree worked with a couple different guys at this restaurant, and they were sending, their money back a ton. And then they just had a number that they were trying to hit.
Yeah.
And the second they did, they were all going home.
Right.
Like they were going to reunite with their families, and then they would be all set.
That's interesting, yeah.
There's some crazy story. Do you know this one? I want to say it's about, I wish I could remember the name of who the actor was, but there's some crazy story about some famous actress's housekeeper had been with her for like 30 plus years and had built a replica of the actor's house in Mexico. And at a certain point...
I feel I've heard this too.
Yeah, and then at a certain point, retired, moved there, and then the actress went broke and ended up moving to Mexico to live in the replica of her house. Does this sound familiar?
I think maybe you told me.
Oh, man. I feel like maybe Kimmel knows this story. I don't know. So I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask real time.
Please.
Okay, let's see. I'm sure he's busy. Hey, I have this weird memory that there was some famous actress who had a housekeeper who lived with her for decades and then had saved all of her money and built a replica of the actress's house in Mexico, then retired and went to that house in Mexico. And then the actress went bankrupt, and then she ended up moving in with the housekeeper in Mexico. Do you know this story, and you know who the players are? I feel like you would know it. Okay, we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Google doesn't have anything.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, so pretty individualistic. It says most Americans will date many people before they choose someone to marry. Furthermore, most Americans will choose the partner that makes them the happiest or the partner that they feel most emotionally and physically connected to. Their choice to marry has little to do with family, alliances, or even their parents' impression of their chosen partner.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. American parents are expected to save money for their own retirement so as not to be a financial burden to their children when their health begins to decline in old age. Many adult children do not have the time to meet all their elderly parents' needs and will sometimes place them in elderly care facilities. The second attribute common to most American families is the concept of the nuclear family. The nuclear family includes a married couple and their children. Most Americans live with their nuclear family and only see their extended family a few times a year. While this is true of most white American families, many African American and Latino families live with or near their extended families. In these cultures, extended family and community ties tend to be stronger.
It is funny. I think we all just go out and chase all this individual glory, and then I don't know that it results in elevated happiness
Yeah.
than being with your family.
I know. Well, yeah, I mean, like my brother was living with my parents for so long, and it was just like, he's got to get out of there. He's got to go. For me. That was my opinion on it. My parents liked it.
Of course.
And of course
And they're from
did.
a culture where that's not a given that he should be leaving.
Yeah. And like now currently he's not there and
You want to move home?
well, I just feel like it's sad for them.
Yes, of course.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you have kids, and then you have to make your whole life about them. Mm-hmm. They get up and they walk out at one point. It's pretty
Tragic,
stark.
really. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, the NYU admission cost currently is $58,000.
Oof.
And that's tuition. And then other costs, books and on-campus room and board, $23,000. So average cost before aid, $82,000.
Ooh, mama. 82,000.
Even average cost after aid is $39,000.
Wait, average cost after 8?
Aid.
Oh, aid is 39,000.
Still so much.
Yeah, how on earth does your average American...
Can't.
They would have had to squirrel away $320,000 for a 4-year degree.
That's why everyone does
That's kind of criminal.
loans, and then they're paying them back for the rest of their life.
$400,000? Buy a rad house instead and read books.
I know. Well, that's what my parents said. They were like, we're not doing that.
Right. Yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
But a lot of states don't have good in-state tuition, right? I mean, this Georgia thing you got that's
Right.
lucky you lived in a state that had that.
It is. I mean, that was free, but it still would. In-state tuition is always going to be not astronomical. I mean, NYU's private school. That's why.
Okay.
It's, yeah.
Okay. They're just willy-nilly using
Yeah, you can
New
do whatever
York.
you want.
Yeah. Could you do University of Los Angeles, California?
Wait, what?
Instead of University of California,
So
Los
it'd be
Angeles.
ULA.
UCLA is that's a state distinction.
Yeah.
But LA, ULAC.
Yeah, it'd be ULAC. And if there's a University of Los Angeles, Michigan, it'd be ULAM.
Oh, I love that. University of Los Angeles, Michigan.
Yeah.
I do remember being very confused in the 90s when I started seeing University of Phoenix in California and all over the country.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm like, what? How is this
And people
happening?
would say ULAM,
What's that?
University of Los Angeles, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
They'd call it ULAM.
Okay, yeah, that's cute. It's also what they pledged. They pledged ULAM
Yeah, and there's secret societies there.
is the lambs. Arr.
Oh my gosh. Lambs are gentle.
Yes, extremely. They're not threatening at all.
Oh, should we talk about how this just reminded me because animals and being gentle. Whiskey bit me.
Oh, yeah, that's a while back.
Yeah.
But yeah, go.
But I hadn't talked about it.
Yeah. Well, I got another whiskey update that we can make a meal out of this. So
Okay.
first say tell everyone about your attack.
Okay.
If you're comfortable.
Well, I was petting Whiskey. And he loved it.
Yeah.
And then I stopped and I was talking to you. And then I went back and started petting again. And he freaked. He just jumped up and bit my hand. And it was so startling.
That it scared you.
It really scared me.
Yeah, and hurt your feelings quite
And it
bad.
did hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And I cried.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, wait, one more part.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, I was like, I hate dogs.
Yeah.
And everyone always tries to get you to like dogs. And then you decide to do it and then they bite you.
Right.
And that's cruel to do. And then the next day I was leaving here and Carly was with Whiskey in the yard and Whiskey comes like running up.
Excitedly.
Yeah. And I looked at him and I said, I'm still mad at you.
Right, yeah.
And then I felt guilty.
Because he doesn't really have a memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
You know, they're like humans in that we learn each other's triggers. So his thing is if he's laying down on a bed and you go to touch him, he has that reaction.
But I already
his,
was.
I know, but it had stopped, and then he probably like entered a tiny bit of a sleep or something.
Oh.
And then when he gets startled like that, that's one of his things, which is very unfortunate. I don't even know why I'm defending him because I'm about to tell you a story where I wanted to absolutely kill him, which was Valentine's Day. Kids bring home a box of chocolates. This is an age-old tale. We have dinner. It's fun. It's Valentine's, so I spoiled them. What do you want? Sky's the limit. We ended up getting McDonald's. And Domino's has lava-filled cakes. Do you know this?
Oh, wow. No.
They're insane, as you would expect.
Yes.
So that was the menu. What a party, you know? What a party for everyone. And go upstairs. Everyone's happy, Valentine's Day. And then I hear screaming and panic. They go into the bedroom and Whiskey has eaten every single chocolate in the huge box of chocolates.
Oh, no.
And now all three gals are like really
Freaking
instantly atomic bomb, right? He's going to die. We need hydrogen peroxide. Where's hydrogen peroxide? I'm like, I don't know where hydrogen. I got to now. Kristen's going to the neighbors to get a
my God.
bottle of hydrogen peroxide barefoot. You know, hold the dog. She's going to die.
Oh,
and then
my
come back, and then we
God.
got eyedropper. How many eye drops? It's supposed to give 2 teaspoons. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what a fucking teaspoon is. I don't know how many droppers go. So I go downstairs, I get a teaspoon. I don't know. You look at the acronym for these. They're not. They could do better between
I agree.
tablespoons and teaspoons.
Yep.
And also, just write it. There's
Sure.
room to write it.
Sure.
Okay, so now I'm bringing up all these measuring fucking spoons.
Yeah.
There is no teaspoon one. There's
Oh,
a
no.
quarter teaspoon. So now I'm
4
doing
of those. Fuck.
4 into. Oh my God, this is madness. 4 into a tablespoon and then taking the eyedropper and sucking out and see how many sucks I have to get before I've gotten to a teaspoon. So I determine we've got to do I don't know what it was, 8 eyedroppers of hydrogen peroxide down. So she's holding him, and if you think he was biting you, I mean, he is going berserk, right? He is hard to handle. Biting. She's holding him, go, and I'm trying to get this fucking eyedropper of the hydrogen peroxide down his thing. And it's like, I don't know, did we get 8? How much got down the throat? Set him in the bathtub, wait to see if he's going to throw up. Doesn't. Then we decide, fuck this, we just pour it in his mouth. What is so cute and funny, and I feel bad for him, he has no idea what this stuff is. He likes it.
Of course he likes it.
Once we start pouring it directly into his mouth, like forget the eyedropper, he's like, he's just drinking hydrogen peroxide. So I think it tastes good going down. But then, so now he's drank God knows how much. Certainly more than 2 tablespoons. But we looked up, can a dog die from drinking too much hydrogen? No.
God.
So it's like now you're weighing the chocolate versus the hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
So anyways, we get a good deal of hydrogen peroxide in the dog. Then the dog's taken to the girls' bathroom in the tub. And then I sat this part out. That was enough drama for me. Okay. I just kind of shut down on my bed. Okay. I'm leaving out that the girls got in an incredible fight because whose fault was it? The chocolate on the ground. Now I hear, once in every 40, 30 fights, I hear F-bombs. Like, that's when I know things are really popping off. And it's usually D-money, let's be honest. So I hear in there like, it's not my fucking fault. By the way, it's just so funny how accurately she always uses it.
Yeah.
It never sounds like a kid using it.
Yeah.
She's like right on with it.
Wow.
So she's in there dropping F-bombs. I'm doing an eyedropper in the dog's mouth, the whole thing. I then just laid down in the bed. I was like, I need to dematerialize.
Yeah.
And apparently I did not observe this, but then he let it rip in the bathtub.
Right.
And there was, just, according to all of them, an impossible amount of chocolate.
Oh, my God.
Yes. So much chocolate.
Ew.
Like, probably there would have been an issue.
So he would have died. Likely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
How long does it take?
For the throw up?
No, for
the death.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Generally, when you're in that panic. By the way, this is not my first rodeo with a dog eating chocolate. I've now been around dogs for 17 years, and they get into chocolate. That's what they do.
Right.
And they
I've
love
heard
it.
if they have a little, it's like fine.
I think, okay, great. So here's what I'm like. Mostly I've heard people are overreacting to it. And then it really has to be really high cocoa content chocolate. It has to be, really dark chocolate and a lot of it.
Yeah.
So as everyone's panicking, I of course want to.
It's not that big of a deal.
What I want to tell all of them is guys, slow down. It's probably, let's just be realistic.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't that dark of chocolate. He probably didn't even,
Yeah.
But I knew that now's not the time.
Yeah.
We got to do all the stuff, and then I just participated. So I missed the big throw up and everything. And then, truth be told, I just stayed in that bed for the rest of the.
That feels fine. I get that.
It takes 6 to 12 hours.
Oh, so you get a little bit of time.
But if it happened in the night.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. Then we put him to bed at night, and it is a little bit like saying goodnight to someone who got a concussion. You are a little bit fingers crossed. Who knows what will happen in the middle of the night?
Oh my God.
And then after that night we just had with him, it was a push for me one way or another, whether he passed peacefully to sleep or he woke up. I don't know. I think this is a very male thing. It's just when you have some variable in your house that makes everyone go crazy.
Yeah.
I have such a caveman response, which is well, get rid of that variable.
Sure. Yeah.
This is
but you
pandemonium.
Like him.
Oh, Monica, I'm trying. He's got a new
you're very
routine.
sweet with him.
He's got a new routine, which is he wants to get on the bed. Bark. I'm meditating, and he comes back and barks the whole time I'm meditating. Yeah. I fucking put him on the bed. I'm meditating. He jumps off for God knows what reason. Ooh. And then 4 minutes later, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to go fucking stay on the bed or stay off the bed. And then half the time, I'm not going to pick him up. So I'm just sitting there meditating while a dog barks as loud as it can.
Yeah.
2 feet from me. Ugh. And I'm like, this is madness. This is where I get very self-centered. I'm like, why am I in a situation where I can't meditate?
Sure.
That seems crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what it is. It used to be I'd put him on the bed and he'd stay there. That's out the window now. He needs to get down all the time. And it's just, it's madness.
He's probably practicing.
His quick escape. He's just trying to stay athletic.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it's his time to work out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mentally he hangs on by a thread, if I'm being honest.
I know.
He's very depressed, I think. But he's only got 3 legs, so just to remind the listener, whiskey's down a leg. So he's got a lot of, from one trauma boy to another, I should be a little more compassionate. I think I am.
You are.
Yeah, but he's been fucking pushing it, It's time for me to say as a non-codependent, like, you need to get engaged in the fight here and try to get some help.
Yeah, but it's just like he doesn't know thoughts.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to think.
It's like a big problem.
It's
actually.
a major obstacle for him doing any self-analysis. I might introduce booze to the situation because, as many alcoholics will tell you, the medicine works for a period. It works for a long time, or can.
Yeah.
And he's only going to live another, I don't know, God, I was thinking about that during the night of, he's not an old dog, right?
No.
No.
He has a while.
And I was like, there could be 13 more years of this.
Yeah.
And slow decline towards the end.
Yeah, this is how he's acting at his fucking peak physical and mental prowess. God knows what shape he'll be in 8 years.
Well, he might just chill out, though. I feel like
Yeah, I'll go deaf
some
and
of
stuff.
these dogs just chill out.
Yeah, a part of it is, he responds to any noise he hears in the yard and this and that. But anyways, so maybe I start giving him a can of beer every night.
Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Okay. The name of the negging book is The Game.
The Game.
Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists.
Alternative title, How to Be a Piece of Shit.
Basically. Okay, the Alexander technique. I'm going to read a little bit about it.
Well, I want you to and I don't want you to because I have so much fun with what I think it is and probably it's not what I think it is.
I know.
Yeah.
I guess I won't. I'll let it be.
No. Read it.
I'll let it be.
No, read. I can
and
handle
then
it.
people can look it up. But
it's not breathing in each other's mouths in sweatpants.
I mean, not really.
Okay.
But that could be a part. That I'm not saying that didn't happen.
No. I was just teasing that. I don't want to know for real. Please tell us what it is.
Okay. The Alexander technique is a type of alternative therapy based on the idea that poor posture gives rise to a range of health problems. That classifies it as psychological and physical, complementary approach to health when used together with mainstream methods.
Well, so it's not even specifically for acting.
It's like for movement class.
Okay.
Like it's connecting to your body.
It's like a health.
I mean, it started
technique.
as that, I guess. Yeah. But then actors use it to like get into their
Physical.
body.
Yeah, get horny.
Maybe help it for long-term back pain,
Okay.
for long-term neck pain.
Say anything about
And,
scoliosis?
well, Parkinson's.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, the method. Most commonly taught in a series of private lessons, which may last from 30 minutes to an hour. The number of lessons varies widely depending on the student's needs and level of interest. Students are often performers such as actors, dancers, musicians, athletes, and public speakers, people who work on computers, or those who are in frequent pain for other reasons. Instructors observe their students and provide both verbal and gentle manual guidance to help students learn how to move with better poise and less strain. Sessions include chair work, often in front of a mirror, during which the instructor will guide the student while the student stands, sits, and walks, learning to move efficiently while maintaining a comfortable relationship between the head, neck, and spine, and table work or physical manipulation. That's what I remember. Like, I remember having, like, sit in a chair and then, like, stand up. But I guess at NYU, maybe
I think there's
there's
a lot
more.
of laying on each other and breathing in each other's
There
mouths.
definitely could be.
I think it'd be safe to guess that an Alexander instructor would be very against the chair that we sit in
Very.
for our job.
Very.
Yeah. It requires zero posture, which is why I like it.
I know, and I feel it. Like,
Yeah.
I am so slumpy.
I have a thing, you know what I do in the sauna? This started about, 8-9 months ago. Now I have to sit completely erect for the 28 minutes.
Oh,
my posture, my
is
back
erect.
is erect.
Yeah.
I can't lean on anything. I just have to be directly sitting up
Use your
straight.
abs. Yeah.
Yes. And what's funny is the hard part of the sauna is no longer the heat. It's just getting through the 20.
Do you feel like it's gotten easier?
Yes. To the point where I was doing it last night and I thought, is it time to try to do it while I meditate? I do feel like to be my best self, I should probably be not using anything to lean on while I meditate.
Well,
so that's probably
to
next.
be your best self is to just do the meditation that feels best to you.
Yeah, but I'm always trying to improve myself, right? So
know.
it's like before I couldn't. I remember when I started this thing in the sauna, doing 5 minutes without leaning on something straight up and down was brutal.
Right.
Now I don't start getting bothered until like 15 minutes into it.
That's really good.
So then I thought, well, fuck, if I could do it in the morning for 20 minutes when I meditate and then 26, 28 minutes at night in the sauna, I bet pretty soon I wouldn't even notice that I have to do it.
Yeah, that's as long as you're not sacrificing your meditation that you like so much.
Right. I wouldn't want to prioritize that.
Yeah. Also, you have scoliosis now,
Yeah.
so you have to be a little careful.
Well, but I've always had it, though. Just remember that.
I think you got it maybe in this last 8 months because of your posture.
I don't know if that's it. But, similarly, I hiked yesterday.
Oh, yes, and Armchair saw me after she saw you.
Oh, really? Because one Armchair, I was listening to my ear pods, but my buds. Because I've made my Air Maxes stink too much from hiking. That's a whole other other fact check about what's. Apple, if you're listening, sell replacement donuts.
I think that
sell
should
them.
be.
Because when I go on Amazon, I can only find third-party makers of them. I've ordered them. I don't like them. Make those available. They get stinky. Or at least tell me how to wash them. I'm also curious how to wash them.
We looked it up, remember? And there was something about, I feel like...
Vinegar?
I want to say vinegar, but maybe I made that up. But there was
That is
something...
a cure-all for stank.
Well, it just makes another stink.
My thought was put it in the dishwasher.
They sell cushions.
That's on the Apple website?
Yeah, $70.
Dude, how much?
69.
I was fucking looking on that website for days and couldn't find that. Will you send me that link? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that solves that.
Great.
But do you think that you could put them in the dishwasher?
Maybe. But nope, don't put any other
foods in
dishes
there?
in there.
Oh, okay. Just
Ever again.
do a dry fire, as they would say.
Do you kind of like the smell?
No, I wouldn't have probably noticed.
Yeah.
Because I never smelled them, which is weird because I smell everything. I'm a gross motherfucker, so I'm not even acting like.
No, but you mean
I would smell anything. Like if I itch my butt, I would smell my finger.
Right.
Yes. So I'm just saying, I'm not acting like I'm puritanical.
No.
Or a prude about this.
Right.
It just didn't cross my mind. They're on my ears. But yeah, I hike in them all the time. So
and you work out, yeah.
But Lincoln smelled them.
Right.
And she was like, oh my God, Dad, these smell so gross.
Yeah.
And then I smelled them and I had to agree they didn't smell great.
You did. Okay, so you were able to smell it once you smelled it.
Yeah, and you know why it's not a good smell? It's like an old moisture smell in a locker room. Like it's
Right.
not.
It's like something's trapped.
It's not like BO or Pooty or any other number of smells.
Yeah.
It is like.
It's like when your towel gets moldy.
Yes. I've never had this, but I'm assuming like if someone really sweats through their socks and they smelled their sock.
Sounds
Tell me
interesting.
more.
I've never done that either. But yeah, everyone talks about sweaty socks. But is it real?
Certainly people have really sweaty feet. I don't personally.
But they're like, ooh, stinky socks.
Yes,
like I've never.
You're right. My socks don't smell.
Yeah.
But people are always But my kids' socks smell sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, they'll smell vinegary, and their shoes will stink. Little kids' shoes stink. Like this shoe, I could throw to you right now. This shoe, I just saw a photo of myself in this exact pair of Chuck Taylor All-Stars. That I've had those shoes for over 14 years. Smell them.
Yeah, they smell fine.
It's fine, right? I mean, it's not like it smells great, but 14 years.
They don't even look dirty. And you've never cleaned them.
No, I've never cleaned them.
Wow.
Yeah. You know me and my shoes. The dirtier they get,
You're
the
very
more I like
clean. Let me smell them.
How do those smell? Let me at them.
God.
Let me at them.
They could smell
send them over.
They could smell better.
No, they smell like the fabric softener that your socks have on them. They don't smell at all, Rob.
Yeah,
It's nice, right? Perfume. That's a fun game we should play more often, chucking Monica's shoe around. Okay. Well, I love you. Is there any more facts?
I think there might have been. Let's see really quick. Puce, just for people, I hope they looked it up. It's a gorgeous color. It's a pink.
Yeah, it's not the green shit color.
We thought
Yeah.
it was a pukey color, but actually it's not. It's a beautiful pink.
Should you do a wall in your new house, Puce? Is there a room that would accommodate that?
I think I could.
Yeah.
I think I could. I wonder what a whole wall, if it would be overwhelming.
It seems, in my recollection, when we looked it up, it's a light pink. It's not like too bold.
No, it's a little bit. This is.
Yeah, that's not very overwhelming for one wall.
I wouldn't call it pastel though. Like it has a pigment.
Oh, okay. But
Maybe
one wall.
Okay, maybe.
I don't know. Think it over.
I'll think it over.
And you call it the puce room. You're sleeping in the puce room when you have visitors.
Okay, real quick. Mary Steenburgen, we mentioned that she had...
Synesis?
No, she got like a minor surgery and then got really good at music.
Yeah, I thought that was called synesthesia.
Synesthesia is when you like see color. I mean...
Yeah, hear colors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, on People magazine, it says Mary Steenburgen's brain. She woke up from minor arm surgery in 2007, and her brain was only music, an odd result that led her to a new songwriting career.
Yeah.
She said that her brain felt out of control immediately after surgery. It felt strange as soon as the anesthesia started to wear off. The best way I can describe it is that it just felt like my brain was only music and that everything anybody said to me became musical. All of my thoughts became musical. Every street sign became musical. I couldn't get my mind into any other mode.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It is very nuts. I've talked to her about it, and it's very compelling, and I believe her 100%.
Yeah. And then last thing, some people who have synesthesia.
But we're not willing to call what she has synesthesia?
Well, I don't think she... I know. I think it just like now there's music in her
brain. But if
brain.
stop signs are musical, isn't that the same as smelling music?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't either. Maybe. Pharrell.
He has it?
Mm-hmm. Billy Joel. Tori Amos. Van Halen. Duke Ellington. Billie Eilish.
What member of Van Halen?
Eddie.
Oh, Edward.
Kanye.
Sure.
Stevie Wonder.
I think he has more than just that.
Yeah. David Hockney. The artist. Charlie XCX. Also, Pharrell, I've heard and maybe this is related. Who told us this? That he knows every Pantone color.
Oh, someone did tell us that.
Someone told us that. But I bet it's connected to this.
Maybe each one represents a song.
Maybe music is in color or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty cool. I wish I had that.
It sounds a little distracting if you ask me. I think I have enough going on in my brain.
But to taste color, I'd like.
Yeah. And although you're only imagining the yummy flavors.
I know.
But if you saw some color and you were like immediately tasting licorice.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you wouldn't want, you gotta assume that as many times as you like the taste, you would not like the taste.
I know, you're right. But it's just like a fantastical way to live your life, to go through the world.
More Hogwartsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about Bertie Bott's beans or whatever.
Oh, that's part of Hogwarts?
Yeah, they're jelly beans and they taste...
Oh, like emotions? Or?
Well, no, they taste like stuff, like regular jelly beans, but they have crazy flavors, like puke,
catfish,
and they have catfish, and they have ear lint.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then you can buy. They made that into an actual product. Oh my god, probably. You know when your ear hole, because you have one.
Yeah. Two.
And you know how sometimes it smells.
Yeah.
Does yours ever still smell sometimes?
I don't think it ever smelled.
Really?
Did mine used to smell?
Well,
you're saying is it done?
Mine sometimes
But
smells.
you asked me, is it done smelling, which makes me nervous that my ears have smelled in the past.
Because I guess I assume everyone's.
So you get some wax on your finger, you smell it, and it has a weird smell. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Your earring hole.
Oh God, yes. If you push out the
juice,
the gunk,
there's juice in there.
Yeah, it's like dead white blood cells.
Right, but
pus.
Well, sometimes nothing comes out, but if I just like squeeze on the holes.
Yes, that's got the must smell. Yes.
Yeah, it's
I have
so
a really gross. I got an example, but I think people throw up while they're driving.
Okay, well, turn it off if you're going to throw up while you're driving.
Okay, I'm glad it's gone and I miss it.
Okay.
I used to lay in bed and I would like play with the skin in my armpit. And at some point, I think I had an ingrown hair, and at some point, I popped something. And somehow it just stayed a thing, like an earring hole for a long time. But I would forget about it. That was the best, is if I forgot about it for like a month.
Sure.
And then I was digging around there watching like 24 or something, right back in Santa Monica.
Sure.
And I'd feel that little ball.
Yeah.
And then I would
You push on it.
squeeze it. And I would get out. This is what's going to make you throw up. It's cheese. You'd get cheese.
Don't call Okay, yeah.
That's
You
what
shouldn't call it
I
that.
know what it is.
Just call it
You got to call it what it is.
pus.
It's cheese. And then, yes, I would smell that, and it was terrible, but I also loved
I know. I don't
it.
understand. I don't know what's going on
I know.
with humans. I mean, I guess it's evolution, but why do we like? We shouldn't have to like these gross smells about us.
See, we've had so many psychologists on, and we've never asked the correct question, which is like, why would we enjoy smelling the cheese from our armpit or belly button or any your ear hole?
Your belly button has cheese?
Mine doesn't, but
Neither,
I just
but some
assume
people
people's does. Like if they got their navel pierced, they probably have cheese.
Oh, yeah.
I think Maureen's here.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, I guess we'll end on that.
Okay, I love you, and I'm sorry if
love
you that was
if you
rough.
threw up in the car.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you threw up in your car. Bye-bye.
Bye.